leader in sports. He's ESPN 620. And now, an on-air sports marketing presentation. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Now on ESPN 620, 98.7 FM HD-2, and streaming live at ArizonaSports.com. The guys are powered by the law offices of Lerner and Rowe. In a wreck and need a check? Make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. And now on your ESPN station in Phoenix, ESPN 620, Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B.
Early this month. Del Orso picks up the steal. Del Orso. Euro. Can you Euro if you from Royce gets it, holds above his head, fakes, looks, gets it to Green. He'll try a three in the right corner. He got it at the buzzer, and the Suns win 113 to 110. The final in double overtime. Jalen Green, the hero, as time expires. 1-2. That one swung on and drilled high and deep. It's got a chance on its way. Gone. A go-ahead two-run homer for Jorge Barossa. It's a six-run, six-inning, and the Diamondbacks in front 7-6. And Ferretti. Now Fields hooks around the ball. Let's take the numbers. What the toss is back. Tim Hughes wins it. The golden goal for the United States. For the first time since the 1980s.
All right, we are loaded today, and we're going to start where the emotion is because USA hockey gold over Canada, and that's one of those wins that hits you in the chest. It's the pride, it's the rivalry, it's North America bragging rights, and it easily sets up for our State 48 Roofing Get Your Call question of the day. And here's the question. What's more satisfying as a sports fan? Beating Canada in hockey or beating Mexico in soccer? That's one of our debates today. We'll dive into that. But right now, the roadmap today here this hour will hit the Arizona Sports Weekend. The Wildcats with their statement win over Houston. The Suns double overtime high and then the Sunday low. Baseball is back. First weekend of spring training for the D-backs. We already have some dingers and some storylines. We'll also get you set for Combine Week, which officially starts today, and that's when teams start convincing themselves they found the next franchise quarterback. We got some guests. Rudy Carpenter will join us, as he always does. We'll get into the tragic news of former Cardinals receiver Rondell Moore, who passed away the other day, 25. We'll also catch up with Steve Peters, our hockey insider, break down what made USA win different. Then we'll hit our hardwood report from Arizona and ASU and TCU and NAU. We got Casey Jacobson, the former Sun, Stanford great, FS1 talk show analyst. He will give us his perspective on the national collegiate basketball scene, Duke surviving, of course, Kansas getting upset. Who he thinks is the Final Four teams right now. But hour 3, I can't wait for it to kick off with Canada and Mexico debate. Then we'll get into some pivotal Suns health situation. Frank Sanders will join us as well, get his thoughts on the Combine. But we are in studio today. Quick reminder, tomorrow we'll be at Backyard Desert Ridge. Get you ready for the Suns and Celtics game. So it's Roc and Manuch and Jimmy B here in the studios of ESPN 620 Phoenix or 98.7 HD2. We're on YouTube, so you can see us. We haven't been on in a couple days because Matt decided to call out sick with his dog. Poor guy. Poor dog. Why do you guys
We got neutered, got
Poor
default.
guy. Sucks. But all right, let's start with we can forget everything else that's happening in sports today because USA, not in curling, not in preseason hockey, their sport, their identity, their religion, and we walk into it and took it. Is this the biggest story in sports right now? Pretty safe to say it is.
I would say so. I mean, you watch that game, you just go, wow. I mean, I had a chance to watch it after the fact. Everybody's keeping up. So I stayed up late last night watching the replay just to see the basically you watch this Canadian team, for all intents and purposes, outshoot, outplay, but the Americans find a way to win this thing. And then the thing that was kind of interesting is watching the replay. I didn't realize Jack Hughes had got into the penalty box with 6 minutes to go in the third period. Comes back, gets his chiclets knocked out, the one with half a toothpick knocked out, picks it up, shows the official. I thought it was hilarious. But for Jack Hughes to come back in that overtime, one of the biggest stops ever on Connor McDavid, get the puck on that 3-and-3 and go down and score, you're just like, wow. I mean, we beat Canada over Italy, obviously, but again, it's the U.S. women beat Canada, we beat Canada. It's just a lot of it also is me how much you watch these pro athletes and you go how much you miss it. Not seeing that Coyotes here, seeing some of the familiar faces. You've got coaches, players, but what a fortitude of just want to by this USA team and Hellbuck, that kid at what do you have 92 saves?
It felt like it, but it was 42.
I mean,
but it felt like 90.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying he just was phenomenal.
Stood on his head.
The saves that he had, and then that last one there by Hughes, and then they had one where it hit the both posts right, left, and go in. I mean, just what a great theater, what a great game, and to beat the Canucks of all people.
You guys both know me. There's only one 6 o'clock, and that's PM. I don't do AM, but I did Sunday. Just because I did not want to miss what potentially could be one of the greatest hockey games that we would ever see. And it turned out to be like that, with players just playing absolutely above their talent level. You referenced Hellebuck, the USA goalie. He was absolutely sensational. He got beat on a play. The puck is going to go in. He reaches behind him with his stick and redirects it wide. Maybe one of the best saves ever in hockey history. And then to have the game winner from a guy who got his teeth knocked out. He's a hockey guy. You wouldn't see that in the NBA.
That was a red badge of honor.
Man, you're not kidding. You're not kidding. And for me, it was great. Now, let me just say one thing. Because the game did go to overtime. And the overtime rules are 3-on-3 in the Olympics. So, didn't the Canadians have their best skaters on the ice?
And arguably the 3 best players in the world.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. Exactly. So after the U.S. wins, all these Canadian people, I went online. Oh, 3-on-3. What a disgrace. That's just terrible. You don't end a hockey game on 3. Just shut the hell up, you freaking people from the North. Shut up.
Hey, you're getting your 20 minutes, and there's no shootout.
That's
so
it,
if it goes again, you get another overtime.
That's right. You're exactly right. Just shut. Look, you would have been screaming to the top of your lungs if Canada would have scored and won.
Yeah.
And now they're just crying because it was 3-on-3.
Yeah, they had their opportunity.
They did.
Yeah. Oh, did they ever?
And now that there's the narrative. On paper, the Canadians were better. Clearly, I think in a 7-game series, it would be a lot different. I think it would probably be a
42, maybe.
42, Canada. But I got to tell you, I will say this. I got up. I was all ready to go to the ice den. 6, and got up about 15 minutes late. It was already 1-0.
Yeah.
Right, so I watched it all. But the ice den was absolutely packed. Ice dens were packed.
Right.
And playing hockey people, and that's cool.
Sure.
And you saw it all around the world, at least in the United States, or all the bars that were open on the East Coast at 8 o'clock, and of course. But I don't know why, but when it was over, I felt bad. Not bad, like I'm glad they won and all that, but I kind of felt bad for the Canadians the way that they were, to give the I shouldn't say that, to get the little doll, the little stuffed animal. It's like you get the silver, you're already pissed off, right? You lost.
Yeah.
And then, then you get the, you just want to rip that thing apart. I understand it's a mascot and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I had to look up, like, why?
What the hell was this?
What's this thing? And I understand.
It was like a stuffed bear or something like that.
It was the mascot.
Yeah.
And, then winners get it too. You really think those Canadians are going to keep those things?
I really found it funny when they were passing those out. The American players are taking. They're going, "What the hell is this?"
Sure.
They're looking at it like, "I don't need this. I got the medal. That's all I need."
You know,
Yeah.
but it's just the expression on their faces. You know, because they know they're going back to Canada and they're going to get a lot of grief.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're not supposed to lose the United States in hockey, and the fact that the women win as well, and we dominated, and we can get into the whole, you know, it's bigger than 80. You know, I don't think it is
No,
at all.
no.
I don't, you know,
the Russia is totally
those
different.
kids, they were kids.
Yeah.
The average age was 21. The average age of these NHL players are 28. Completely different.
Yeah, men with men.
And ESPN radio all day yesterday was trying to make that comparison. And, you know,
There's no way.
You can't
Well,
compare that. I mean,
well,
you
that's a big win.
can if these two guys' ages are producers.
Yeah.
Because you weren't around when that happened.
Yeah.
You didn't understand. Now, you probably have seen the movies and you've seen everything, but to watch that live as we all did it, you know, I was a kid and you guys were adults, but it was completely different.
Absolutely. Well, and I can tell you this. Let me say this. Before the Olympics began, remember the Soviet team was four times in a row. Four times they beat them, and they beat them in New York City at Madison Square Garden, like 12-2. You brought some up, Rock. You know, the Canadian team might be this USA team 2 out of 3, 3 out of 5, whatever. That's what Herb Brooks said in that final game. He said, "Look, this is our time," and they showed that a lot. So you read that you look at the whole speech. And look, they might beat us 9 out of 10 times, but tonight's your night.
Yeah.
Tonight is when you are the best in the world, and we only have one night. So I kind of thought about tonight, going, yeah, this team clearly outshot, they outskated, but they figured out a way. And Hellbug just amazing. Rudy stopped celebrating like, I don't know, 5 times
On the doorstep.
But I mean, it just takes one game. It's a one game elimination.
Yeah.
That's it. And they stood up and they got the big plays, the big defensive plays. And then that shot by Hughes, just phenomenal. It happened so fast. You're like, they go in. Sure enough, the guys came up. But just again, it just takes a one game of just more want to than the other team.
All right, coming up, our replay rewind. We'll hit USA Hockey, Suns, Wildcats if we have time. We'll get into Jeff Kent telling a story about Alex Rodriguez sliding into him, and Tiger Woods on whether the Masters is still a possibility. So stay with us. The replay rewind is next. Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B, from the studios of ESPN Radio 61.
Looking for the perfect place to eat, drink, watch the game, and keep the night going? That's Backyard Desert Ridge. Enjoy elevated bar favorites and a killer drink menu. Catch every play on 40-plus HD TVs or 4 massive LED walls. Then challenge your friends to a game of your own. And when the game ends, the party keeps rolling with live entertainment and DJs nightly. Backyard Desert Ridge. Comfortably familiar, always exciting. We'll see you in the backyard.
Arizona's headquarters for Toyotas is Wright Toyota. Hey, Rock, for my friends at Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. You will always find the right deal at Wright Toyota. Wright Toyota has been driving Arizona's home for years with their amazing service, pricing, and great selection. I encourage you to discover the difference at Wright Toyota. Make the right choice, Wright Toyota, just off the 101 on Brentwood Wright Boulevard, and always online at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection. Check out WrightToyota.com.
Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice cold Bud Light or a refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Join the team at All City Towing, Arizona's largest towing company and leader in roadside service. We're hiring dispatchers, call takers, lot attendants, drivers, and customer service pros ready to grow with us. You'll enjoy state-of-the-art equipment, consistent schedules, full health benefits, a strong 401k match, employer life insurance, and a monthly fuel allowance. Take your career to the next level. Apply today at allcitytowing.com. All City Towing, where your future is always moving forward.
Swing into Vans Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf to get custom fit for the new Callaway Quantum drivers. The new Callaway Quantum drivers feature Tri-Force face, and the result is a faster face, more ball speed, and a quantum leap in distance off the tee.
Check out the Callaway Quantum drivers today. Book your custom fitting in-store or online. Vans Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Trusted by golfers since 1963 and home to the legendary 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee. Get there.
Nobody does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Nobody. Whatever you're craving, we've got it. Tequila cocktails, premium bourbon pours, and top shelf spirits served over ice balls that hit just right. Local craft beers and handcrafted whiskey cocktails, yep, all here. And with 5 Valley locations. And don't forget the teeth-chattering 29-degree drafts we're famous for. Pair it all with scratch kitchen bites that actually satisfy. From shareables to hearty favorites. When it comes to happy hour, Twin Peaks doesn't play. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, scenic views. Now it's time for our replay rewind. The top sounds of the night and whatever Rock decides to add. Let's get to it in Replay Rewind with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on ESPN 620 and on FM at 98.7 HD2.
All right, let's start with USA hockey. Big stage, big moment. Team USA comes out aggressive. They set the tone early. Here's Matt Boldy lighting the lamp with the first goal.
This one Hughes, he has been magnificent. Off the Matthews, beat McKinnon to the front. Boldy looks and push through. Boldy, he scores.
They're just going to roll.
I was hoping that was not the case. God, I missed the hockey part. I really did.
And this one, I get you one. You missed that much. You can fire that off at Sun Lake City. Right? That's what you do. You want it to sound like
great.
Yeah. So when it's dinner time at 3 p.m., you can fire that thing off.
That'd be awesome.
At 3 p.m., it's dinner time.
When the kids are doing the bell, 5 o'clock.
I do want to ring the bell when they're all trying to go to bed.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh, yeah. Well, they hate me there anyway.
Blue plate special when you hear the hockey on.
All right, in this one right here, the moment everybody's been talking about, the gold medal on the line, the Robert return, all the way up, USA versus Canada, Jack Hughes. Everyone's heard it 10 times, but it's a replay rewind. Of course, we have to have it. It is included. Here is that Jack delivers the dagger.
And it's Boretsky. Hughes wins it. The golden goal for the United States. For the first time since the 1980 miracle, the United States takes the goal. Jack Hughes beat it to advantage it.
I don't know if it was just me, but when that happened, there was kind of a pause. I'm like, did he go in or not go in?
Well, that's what I thought too.
Because the broadcast, I don't have that. I don't have that. That was the television broadcast, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I had it loud enough, but it was just like, all right. Oh, okay, good. You know,
Sure.
it was, I don't know.
It was disjointed.
You saw
I mean, you did this for a long time, you know, doing play-by-play. That's I mean, now Michael Smith, you know, he said he had that right.
Yeah.
He had that last call.
right, he
Your
believed
call. Yeah, he had that.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know. Who is that guy that did that call?
That was
Mike Perigo, did he?
No,
call
that's
it?
not Mike.
Oh, God.
Good, guys.
It was Kenny Albert.
That was Kenny Albert, okay, who's phenomenal. Not saying that we needed more. I mean, I think in retrospect, it would have nicer than more to it, but I just felt like there was a little bit of like a pause there, like he didn't see it. Like, I don't know if you ever missed. I remember in the Super Bowl with Buck. I think it was Fox that made. I don't remember. Jack Buck was calling the Patriots Giants Super Bowl when it was in led. And the call with Tyree when he
caught the ball on
he
his helmet.
basically just said, "Oh, I got Tyree would catch." Didn't break down the whole caught it off his head. One of the worst calls ever. Not comparing this as a bad call, but just I think it could have been better.
Yeah.
You know,
Is that bad?
the only thing you kind of saw initially is when he shot it, Wernitzky raised his hand. That's when you knew that it must have went in. Everybody went nuts. And isn't that interesting that Helbut and Wernitzky get the assist. Kicked it out to Wernitzky. He kicks it to Hughes. game set match. Guys, there'll probably be a movie made out of these Hughes brothers. Because Jack Hughes brother Quinn got the assist for the first goal. He gets a game-winning goal in the Olympics. There will probably never be another Olympiad for a gold medal game where a brother. I mean, never have. Never say never. Where a brother gets an assist and the other brother gets the game-winning goal in the gold medal round of the Olympics.
You know, it's
There's
interesting.
a movie waiting to happen.
Oh, it is. I agree. It's interesting that you referenced that. It didn't sink into me because when the shot took place, I saw the net move.
Okay.
I'm watching it on TV. I saw the net move. So I felt, oh, it went in. That's it. I jumped up. And then, and you were right, there was silence for a moment, and then he called the goal. So I'm guessing that he wasn't sure if indeed, if he saw it correctly.
Well, when you jumped, maybe you got that 5 foot. I mean,
No, you can get a credit card under me. That's it.
It's interesting. The way it all ended like that. I mean, the save at the in overtime. You know, Hughes was a part of that.
Yeah.
And then to get the goal, I guess it was 10, 15 seconds or something like that was kind of the way it happened. And just that quick. And I also thought it was interesting that in a gold medal in the Olympics, you go to overtime, it's just 3-on-3, which I love. But you'd think they'd have a 5-on-5. You would think.
I don't know why.
I don't know. It's just
Hey,
hockey tradition or whatever.
They don't. That's not their deal. This is the Olympics. They're looking to end the contest.
Yeah, I mean,
in a spectacular way.
smaller ice,
Yes.
Okay. That's right. Small ice.
larger ice. You know, it seems like they keep going back and forth on how they're doing ice. But all right, back here in the Valley, Saturday the Suns in a tight one, late game pressure to watch, crowd on the feet, and then game winner to seal it. Here is Green Team, and it's the final call.
Royce gets it, holds above his head, fakes, looks, gets it to Green. He'll try a three in the right corner. He got it at the buzzer, and the Suns win. 113 to 110. The final in double overtime. Jalen Green, the hero. His time expires.
Great call. He was 1 for 10 3-point shooting.
He was 6 of 26.
He was horrible. He could literally hit the water from the boat in that game. But it's interesting how he described Royce Allen. He hollered Royce Allen on that inbounds and just said, "Look, it's up." When he broke free, Allen was looking, just kicked it out to him, and got the three. That's one of those shots needed. Double overtime with Orlando. But to have Dylan the Villain go down 7 minutes in, you're like, what the hell? Are you kidding me? And now it looks like with this broken hand, he'll be out what?
4 to 6 weeks. 4 to 6, what Sham Sharania is reporting. And now you're in a situation where they're still trying to determine how bad the cap strain is on Goodwin. So he didn't play in last night's game. What a finish.
I mean,
yeah, it is.
if he was playing for the Arizona Cardinals, the calf strain, he'd miss 25 games.
I don't know. I think these NBA guys are pretty soft.
Yeah. Well, he was reaching in, and I thought it was Achilles for a second.
Yeah.
Oh, no. But you go, he may be down for 3 or 4 weeks with calf strain.
Yeah.
And you got 4 to 6 weeks with Dylan Brooks. Hey, Devin, get your butt back as soon as you can, because they're going to
rush you. Can't
I
rush
know.
you.
It'll be a hell of a story if they can get in and play it, and then they can have some success, completed as they are. And even watching it, they're just like last night, 77 points.
Yeah.
It's the lowest since I've been 20 years. I've been forever.
I will tell you this, it was really painfully obvious when you have a second-year player from Portland, Donovan Klingon, just dominates the paint.
How big is he? 7'2"?
7-2.
He's big, dude.
But so is Mark Willis.
Yeah,
But I'm just saying that this is a guy who really struggled his rookie year, and now he's beginning to find himself in the NBA. He's going to turn into a dominant 7th win.
When your court is taller than anybody else in the court, he knew he was going to have.
He's 2 inches taller than
Williams had no answer for him.
No,
He could alley-oops, all the kind of stuff that they were doing on him. He just had no answer. 58 points in the paint by Portland. So without the size, the Suns are going to struggle moving forward.
The guy yesterday in the Genesis, it's that whole one. The guy's name.
That's Grier's, not Grier's son.
Jacob Richmond.
No, the guy that had the whole
one.
Reshire.
wasn't it?
No, it's Reshire or something like that.
It wasn't
Yeah.
Brisbane. No.
Yeah.
Anyway, when he hit it, you wouldn't even know he hit it. Like it's like
No big deal.
no,
Yeah.
they jump up and down. They do, and it was on the car hole.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah,
They didn't do
won the
anything.
car. Yeah.
I don't know who he was, but
I think it was Max Graceman.
Graceman, that's
it.
who it was.
I remember seeing that, and I had the same reaction.
Yeah.
I was sitting there at a table with my wife, and I was watching it.
we had a bar drink.
You know, having a nice drink.
Hey, what?
But no, it was one of those where I looked over. I said, "Did you see that? He was in the whole." Like he's not even celebrating. He's like, "Hey, I was torn my ACL sliding down the green."
Just like a fish.
Like no big deal. He does it all the time.
Well,
Yeah.
Look like a soccer player sliding.
That's like when I throw those touchdown passes. That no big deal.
I would
All
take it
drop
off
and slid to the green.
on Friday, Jimmy, we had we work on Fridays, and we had
I don't know about.
we Candiati.
Oh yeah.
We had with her on the waste management.
Did he really?
No one, none of us knew about
Hole
that.
number 7. Are
And-
you serious?
It was great. And he said that McBride basically just tackled him, and he was playing with Trey McBride, and Tim Hovick, and who's the other guy? But somebody else.
Was it Kelly? Was it Mel Kelly maybe?
Yeah, I mean,
Mel Kelly. Yeah.
but
He
that's
said he-
pretty cool.
182, a rescue club.
Yeah, the rescue club.
Okay. Yeah.
182.
Yeah.
Flop. It was his third.
Yeah. He said.
He's got three. He's got three 300 games that he's pulled.
Wow.
And he's got 3 holes.
I've only had one 300.
Speaking of golf, we're going to finish with Tiger Woods. Everyone is wondering, will he play the Masters? Here's Tiger addressing that possibility.
Is there a possibility that you can get out there? There is. That's exciting. Would you play a tour for that? I don't know. Whether it's regular tour, senior tour, or member guest, I don't know.
Remember? Yeah.
Remember guys. Yeah.
I love the member guest comment.
Today's replay is brought to you by Lawler and Row. Interact, keep a check, make one call. That's all. 602-977-1900. Always at LawlerandRow.com. They can help with free consultation. Again, one call. That's all. 602-977-1900. All right, coming up, Rudy Carpenter. What quarterbacks really see at the combine that fans miss? He's a former quarterback. You can join us after our first local ESPN Radio 620 Sports Center update with Hunter Thomas.
It's now time for your Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. It's ESPN Sports Center update. I'm Connor Collins. Sad news across the valley this weekend. Former Arizona Cardinals wide receiver Rondell Moore passed away at just 25 years old. Former Phoenix Mercury forward Tara Braxton passed away at the age of 43. His son Snoop's forward Dylan Brooks is expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks with a broken left hand that he suffered in Saturday's double overtime win against the Orlando Magic. And this afternoon, the Diamondbacks are taking on the Cleveland Guardians. It's currently still 0-0 at the top of the second, and we'll keep you updated as it goes. This ESPN Radio 620 Sports Center update is sponsored by Backyard Desert Ridge. Home for Suns watch parties, ice cool drinks, and wall-to-wall game day energy. Catch every Suns moment on massive LED walls and more than 50 HD TVs. Stop by Backyard Desert Ridge, where Suns spirit shine every night. The guys are live there tomorrow before the Suns and Celtics game. Come by and make sure to say hi. Backyard Desert Ridge.
Get it. A meal shouldn't cost you nearly $20. And we agree. At Venezia's Pizzeria, lunch or dinner for under $10 is still a thing. And for an even sweeter deal, stop in and grab a Slice Rewards card. Get a stamp for every qualifying Slice special. And visits, 1 free qualifying special. Simple. And every Tuesday, we double your stamps. That's your free pizza twice as fast. Venezia's Pizzeria, a family tradition with great rewards.
Bigger fields, bigger events, bigger experiences. Arizona Athletic Grounds. Arizona Athletic Grounds is a 275-acre sports and entertainment destination for athletes, fans, and families. Located in Mesa, AAG is one of the largest multi-sport complexes in the country, with over 475,000 square feet indoors and more than 150 fields and courts. From tournaments to training to cheer, dance, concerts, and corporate events, the Grounds does it all. Learn more at azgrounds.com.
Another Arizona storm season's rolling through. Before the next big downpour hits, call State 48 Roofing for your free roof inspection. Whether it's cracked tiles, flat roofs, or old shingles, don't wait for leaks to show up. State 48 Roofing is Arizona's #1 referred roofer, trusted for over a decade in both residential and commercial roofing. Protect your home, protect your business with State 48 Roofing. Visit state48roofing.com or call 480-268-4509 today. Game on Peoria. When it's time to eat big, drink cold, and watch every play, make it Big's American Bar and Grill in the P83 district. Big's is serving up huge portions of your favorites. Burgers, wings, nachos, plus a full bar and TVs everywhere you look. And don't miss happy hour Monday through Thursday, 3 to 6:30 p.m. with $2 off well drinks and $2 off domestic drafts, plus daily specials all week long. Bring your friends, grab a seat on the patio, and settle in for the game. Big's American Bar and Grill, where Peoria comes to play, eat, and watch.
Hey, it's time to find that S-Series truck you want at a price you can't afford to miss because it is Ford Truck Month. Yep, and Ford Truck Month is about the only way that America's best-selling line of trucks for 49 years running gets better. Ford Truck Month at our Desert Ford dealers. Hey, Paul Galvis here. Man, we wait all year for these amazing offers. The Ford F-150. America counts on it. We get to drive it. And that's not all we get. Check out these savings. How about 0% APR for 60 months with zero down, zero payments for up to 90 days, plus $1,000 in truck month cash on the 2025 Ford F-150. We're talking on the job site, on the family camper, off-roading. F-150 trucks are icons of muscle and performance. And again, during Ford Truck Month, get 0% APR for 60 months with zero down, zero payments for up to 90 days, plus $1,000 in truck month cash on a 2025 Ford F-150. Put it all in. It's March 31st. Just click buyfordnow.com.
Here to talk football is former Sun Devil and NFL quarterback Rudy Carpenter, who went 3-0 against that team in Tucson.
Deep ball again by Rudy Carpenter. He reads it in zone coverage to try the safety.
Rudy Carpenter now on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on ESPN 620.
All right, the combine is underway in Indianapolis. So there's a lot of talk out there, a lot of talk about the quarterbacks and all that good stuff. Rudy Carpenter joins us now. Rudy, you wear a lot of different hats. Obviously, former player, agent, and of course, you do some media. What is it when it comes to the reality of combines? What do the scouts actually look for versus what the media hypes? Because it seems like we get, the media is hyping things, but then the scouts are there. What are they really looking at compared to what the media guys are doing?
Well, I honestly, I think that, most of the proverbial hay is really already in the barn when it comes to, the vast majority of these players and the combine. I think that, a lot is made about, how a player performs at the combine and things of that nature. And I think really most of it is overblown and overhyped. I think that the main things at the combine that are like actually important, there's no doubt that, for some receivers and some defensive backs, et cetera, and well, I should really say any position, anytime a player goes out there and blazes an incredible 40 time, of course, I think that's important. I think that matters, and I think that will 100% help that player, no doubt about it, right? On the flip side, if a player goes out there and runs incredibly slow, I think that also will, negatively and really hurt his draft status, no doubt about it. But I think in reality, the main things that matter is the medical. The medical part of the NFL Combine is really, what the Combine is supposed to be about. That's, really the main thing is the players are going to the Combine They're spending hours and hours and hours at the Indianapolis hospital. They're spending hours in X-ray machines and hours in MRI machines. They're spending a ton of time with each NFL's medical staff and training staff, and you hear about them being poked and prodded and going through every injury they've ever had, every X-ray they've ever had, any injury or something that's ever been reported to a team doctor while they were in college. They're going over, all of that stuff. And then lastly, without a doubt, the interactions, the player interactions, the meetings, the chances that the team GMs and the scouts and the coaching staff, the more opportunities that they get to talk with the player and meet with the player and get to know the player and ask him some questions and really try to find out who he is. There's no question that is also, an incredible, piece of the evaluation, the process. The physical part is just a very small piece of it.
Rudy, I would think the way you talk, it's just, you hear all the, the measurements, the physical part, the hospital, the grind, getting on the chalkboard or the grease board, the throwing on and on and on for a full week. I got to imagine, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that part of the measurement of that individual is how they handle the grind of the week. That might be one of those boxes these general managers check or coaches check. Would that be accurate?
Yeah, it definitely comes up because most of the players are it's interesting because for a lot of the coaches and the GMs and the personnel people, the NFL Combine Week is a huge party. They're out, the coaches and all those guys are out every night at every local bar, every local place that's out there. Every single night is a 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning type event every day. But for the players, it's a difficult grind because of how much they have to do. The medical testing, the interviews, the hospitals, the X-rays, the media interviews, the team interviews, the physical part, the drug testing, the personality test, the more personality tests, the more personality tests, the Wonderlic test, all these different tests, and you're just going and going and going and going, and every single night for a player, you're up, down, interacting with teams or having responsibility all the way up to 10:30 at night. Then a lot of times after that, as a player, you're trying to get hydrated, you're trying to get off your feet, you're trying to get recovered, you're trying to talk to your agent or representative just to make sure that, certain things are either happening or not happening, or you as a player and agent are executing the strategy that you had in place, going into the week. And yeah, sometimes, tempers can flare, patience can wear thin, guys can get irritated, and yeah, people are always watching, people are always grading, people are always judging, and sometimes that's unfair as a player. You're like cold. Sometimes in Indianapolis this time of year, it's snowing, it's icy, it's cold, whatever, and you're tired, you're bothered, you're annoyed, you want to go to bed, and you got some doofus asking you a question about the time that you yelled at an Uber driver in college when you were drunk on spring break, and you're like, I don't know, dude, who cares? And next thing you know, that leaks into the media, or now you're answering questions about something that you never had any idea would happen.
That's a great answer, Rudy. By the way, I ran into a lot of coaches at the Slippery Noodle in Indianapolis. So you're absolutely right about those guys going out to party. My question to you, is, Ty Pennington says that he is going to throw. Mendoza says he's not going to throw. He's going to wait for his pro day. My question is, does it really matter anymore if you throw at the combine or not, in your estimation?
No, I don't think that it matters. And in my opinion, I for a guy like Mendoza, and I mean, look, in reality, when you hear about quarterbacks not throwing, typically the quarterbacks that don't throw are typically quarterbacks that are represented by the team agency, which is CAA. And, you know, back in the day, Tom Condon and Jimmy Sexton and their guys, they never had their guys throw, whether it be a Sam Bradford, whether it be a Eli Manning, whether it be a Peyton Manning, whether it be a Phillip Rivers, whether it be Matt Stafford, whether it be a Sam Darnold or a Josh Allen or Drew Brees, they had every single quarterback. And, you know, look, some of those quarterbacks I just mentioned, I'm sure you can go back and see they threw at the combine and they had no problem. And they as a player, chose to do that. I know CAA as a whole, they recommend that their guys don't throw. I believe Mendoza signed with CAA. I could be wrong, but they don't like their guys throwing. Me personally, I mean, you're throwing a quick slant, you're throwing a quick out, you're throwing a 10-yard out, you're throwing a go route, you're throwing a post corner, you're throwing a curl, you're throwing a deep dig. Some of those are harder throws, some of those are easier throws. But at the end of the day, all those receivers run routes differently. You don't know the timing of these guys. And in reality, I think for quarterbacks, if you're at the combine, that means to get an invite to the combine, it means that you have to be one of the top 265 players in the country that I believe it's like half of the NFL teams have a draftable grade on. So in order to go to the combine, you have to have a draftable grade by half of the NFL. And if you're a quarterback that is in that boat, to me, there's a good chance that there is hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of throws on your film, on your college resume. In today's world, these kids got 7 years of college film that you can go and evaluate. And so, I don't really see where the advantage is as a quarterback to go out there and throw. I know you got guys, like Manuch, who played in the time of leather helmets, who likes to yell at kids about competing.
Yeah.
And they should go compete. And, I did all of it. I understand it. I understand the mentality of just having the mentality of, hey, I'm a football player. Any chance I get to play football, to throw a football, I'm going to go and do that. I mean, I do get that opinion. I'm old school as well. But at the same time, we're talking about a lot of money on the table here, and we're talking about how their NFL scouts and GMs and coaches and all of these guys who, they've already come to their conclusion of what they think about most of these guys already. So all you're going to do is go out there and confirm their biased opinion that they already have, or, you're going to go out there, you're going to make them feel stronger, about what they already believe going into the day. I've never seen a situation where a GM or a coach or someone, was not super high on a quarterback. They watched him make 15 throws to the combine, and all of a sudden change their whole perspective.
Hey, Rudy, last one. Got about a minute here. Is there anything you do as a representative with either your receivers or quarterbacks or whomever that you can prepare them for all this? I know the physical side guys are working out, but from the mental digest of everything, if you guys put your guys through the rounds of what they're going to face at the combine?
Yeah, we'll literally do a mock combine. A lot of times we'll do 2 or 3 mock combines for our guys before they go. So, number one, making sure that all of our guys, everything they're going to do, all the drills they've practiced a bunch of times, all the physical stuff they've practiced a bunch of times. We even have our guys practice sitting around and getting stiff and being bored and waiting in between drills, etc. But we also practice the mock interviews. We sit down with our players and pretend we're NFL scouts, pretend we're NFL GMs and coaches, and we run them through mock interviews. We ask them the questions. We ask them the uncomfortable questions. We talk about football. Hey, draw up your favorite 3rd and 5 play. Draw up your favorite 3rd and 11 plus play. Draw up your favorite play against all-out blitz. Draw up your favorite play action play. You know, we'll pretend we're a team and we draw up an NFL play, you know. Gun, double right, dip, jet right, 940 left corner, erase it, talk to the kid about the weather outside of him, say, hey, remember that play I drew up? And you draw it up and name it and I mean, just test their recall. So, yeah, to answer your question, all of us as agents, we are doing everything that we can to prepare our clients to go to the NFL Combine, to the All-Star games, the private workouts, the top 30 visits. I mean, all of it, we're preparing our guys for.
Rudy, good stuff as always, man. This combine stuff's pretty cool. Appreciate you peeling the onion, so to speak, and appreciate the time as always, buddy. Have a great week.
Take care.
That's Rudy Carpenter joining us. Former NFL, ASU, star quarterback, went 3-1 against University of Arizona. You can follow him at Rudy Carpenter, but we always catch him at lunch. Just a reminder, our Biggs VIP spring training experience, of course, which is sponsored by Biggs American Bar and Grill, going on right now. Great place, wall-to-wall TVs, cold beer, best game day, atmosphere in the West Valley. So if you're going to go see the Mariners or the Padres, you got to go to Biggs before and after the games. Got a contest where we're doing a VIP spring training experience, as I mentioned. All you got to do is text Biggs to 59925. That's Biggs to 59925 for your chance to win box seats, lunch or dinner at Biggs, ride share, and the best part, ESPN 620 Roc Manuch swag. Again, that's Biggs to 59925. Will be announcing the winner in about 8 days. All right, coming up, sadly, tragic news out of the National Football League. Former Cardinals wide receiver Rondell Moore has passed away at just 25 years old. We'll share what we know.
Have you ever been to Rodizio Grill? Let me tempt you. Start your Rodizio experience with their hot, unlimited appetizers. Indulge on our award-winning gourmet salad bar with over 35 items. Then, 16 delicious, sizzling rotisserie grilled meats and grilled items like our tender top sirloin and Rodizio's signature glazed pineapple, as much as you like. Rodizio Grill, the Brazilian steakhouse.
Located in Mesa, North Scottsdale.
This is Jason Checkerly, former police officer. There's nothing more important to a first responder than focusing on their mental health. And there's nothing better for that mental health than golf, friends, music, drinks, food, fun. Join us for the Heroes Golf Classic tournament at the Western Sterling Golf Course on Friday, May 8th. If you're not a golfer, show up for the after party and benefit concert with the best cover band in Arizona, Rock Lobster. Proceeds are going to benefit the 100 Club of Arizona. The 100 Club provides support for our first responders in critical incidents, injury prevention, mental health, and scholarship. Every day, our public safety members put their lives on the line, and we are their backup. So come out and join us on May 8th. To register, go to our website, 100club.org, and click on the event page. Again, 100club.org. Click on the events page, register for the tournament, and we will see you on May 8th.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm Attorney Kevin Rowe. The insurance company's job is to pay you as little as possible. Our job is to get you every dollar you deserve. Call Rowe today and let's make them pay. Call 977-1900.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, the ultimate lunch lineup boasts wall-to-wall sports and scenic views. When you're hungry and in a hurry,
The Scratch Kitchen delivers lunch in the clutch. I mean, where else can you order a 29-degree draft beer and a quickie combo on your lunch break? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
Hi, I'm your kid's old jeans. I've been in the drawer for a while and really missed the playground. You should swing by Goodwill and drop me off. Donating me helps Goodwill's mission to provide career training and support services right here in the community. Plus, I can get back into the game. Donate today. Dad, you're it.
To find your nearest Goodwill locations and to learn more about our mission, please visit goodwill.org. Goodwill, where your themes start new lives.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B want to take you back. A quick reflection on some of the more memorable moments in sports and pop culture. Now, time for your Right Toyota on this day report. Right Toyota, right on the corner, right on the price. Right Toyota in Scottsdale.
Steve Reed, an excellent free throw shooter, will have the honor of shooting the top post. Look at here. Bobby Knight just threw his chair clear across the free throw line. And I think Brett Jolie picked up another tee.
You can see he's having a bad day.
I wish I could have called that game.
1985,
Yeah.
Indiana University. Head coach Bobby Knight threw his chair onto the court during the game. Also on this day in 88, the Chicago gave the Cubs the right to install lights and play up to 18 night games at Wrigley. And then 2021, Tiger Woods was in the news as he crashed his car while driving south of Los Angeles, injuring both of his legs. So there you have it on this day with Roc Manuch with Jimmy B. All right, as we get to football 50, this isn't a good one, but former Purdue star, NFL wide receiver, and Cardinal Rondell Moore passed away Saturday at the age of 25. Police in his hometown of New Albany, Indiana, told the Associated Press that they found him in the garage with a suspected self-inflicted gunshot wound. Of course, the death remains under investigation. He originally was a second-round pick for the Cards back in 2021. 3 seasons here, he caught 135 passes, 1,200 yards, and a touchdown. He also had some rushing yards in there too, but after his time here, he went over to Minnesota, and unfortunately he's injured there, so for a preseason coach has not played. But bad news.
Yeah, it is. If I interject, after this happened Saturday night, we find this coming down. And I've had one of my quarterbacks probably going back 5 years with that committed suicide. And when I gathered the boys all day yesterday, every one of them, from whether they're 10 years old, 28 years old, the whole entire game. And when Andrew passed away, that's when I was training Block Purdy, Tyler Shuck, all those guys. So I kind of gathered those guys and said, look, guys, one of the things that you never really see unless you ask for help is the mental side of your help. And, if it ever gets to that point, I told these guys after Andrew passed, let's go back to, I want to say 2021, please let somebody know. So I shared this with the boys. They were all stunned. Now, wow, this guy's a football player. Cardinal, Atlanta, got hurt, goes to Minnesota, got hurt, on and on. I just said, look, no matter how bad it is, if you're even thinking with this alleged suicide, what they're saying, I'm sure that the coroner will go ahead and determine exactly. Ask for help, please. There's a suicide hotline. Ask for help. Call the coach. Call me. Call anybody. And even with Brock and Tyler, and that was almost 5 years ago, those guys resonated home. That things can get very difficult as an athlete. You get hurt, you get injured, things open on the home front, marriages. When there's issues that happen, it's normal life. People don't realize that the athletes have emotions and issues as well. But they have lives. They got lives.
Yeah.
And I just echo that with all my guys. And to this day, this pops up.
Yeah.
I do drive this sports. I had 12 quarterbacks in one section, and I had like 10 receivers. So I had like 23 kids out there in my afternoon session. And I just, look, guys, please, Whatever you can say, whatever you do, just call.
You got to be honest. You got to be honest with them. You cannot sugarcoat it, and you have to be honest and lay the facts out. And once again, just what Manuch said, if you have an issue, go get help.
And if you or someone you know is struggling, there is help. Yeah. Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. If we reach it, all you got to do is dial 98. That's it. 98.
Thanks for that, Ron.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, and I appreciate the reason why I appreciate that because I think that we have to be more open. Sure, mental health. We really do. I think all of our
crazy
families,
how crazy it is.
It is. All of our families have been affected by that. I've been training quarterbacks for many years. When this happened, that's when this really hit home. And the young man's a freshman in high school, up for sophomore year, and he was doing so well. We find out. So yeah, it's we all alluded to the suicide hotline or question 988 if you're out there and you're struggling with anything in particular. I don't care if you're an athlete, a person, or whatever. Please reach out for help.
Hey, tomorrow we'll be out at Backyard Bridge. Great place to watch Suns games, and if you're into UFC and all that stuff, I've been out there a few times. Tom Chambers is in there once in a while. Yeah, it's a good time in there with us, so it's kind of fun. So tomorrow we'll be there from 1 to 4 before the Suns Celtics. So
we'll get your prime ready to go.
Actually, going to. Oh, good. Well, it's
Did they
like
win last time you were there?
What's that?
You had those nice seats. Did they win?
Yeah.
Can you play, Rock? That's the important thing. Can you get on the court?
It's great to go to these games once in a while, but when there's no one that you know, I know who's playing, but it's the superstars aren't playing.
No, they're not.
No book. No Brooks. We had to go down the list.
Yeah. Grayson Allen's questionable. Hey, Jalen Green will be playing if we hope.
All right, Hockey Insider Steve Peters joins us. Why USA and Canada still hits differently for some. We'll tell you all about that next. Roc and Manuch here on ESPN.
Jackson Hewitt knows taxes are complicated. With multiple jobs and tax forms, their life is not complicated. Our no surprise pricing keeps things simple. Jackson Hewitt does your taxes for only $149 or less. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back. So what are you waiting for? Hurry. File with Jackson Hewitt today for only $149 or less, guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
This day is off to a slow start. So he heads to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. In Sandy, AutoZone. That's just battery for free. Looks like you just need the charge. And Sandy does that for free too. No time at all. Jeff is back on the road, ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassle, just that. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Here's what's different about GCU. It's one of the country's biggest universities with over 360 programs shaped by industry leaders. GCU's campus ranks among the top in the nation. Most of all, GCU cares about affordability. The average federal and private loan debt for GCU undergrads is lower than the average for private nonprofit four-year universities. Find your purpose at GCU. Visit gcu.edu.
Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice cold Bud Light or a refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
KTAR AM Phoenix, Arizona's home for the worldwide leader in sports. It's ESPN 620. Let's get back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B now on ESPN 620.
And Forensky. What the fuck is that? He's reaching the golden goal for the United States. For the first time since the 1980 Miracle, the United States takes the goal. He beat it to the bacon.
Well, since we don't have NHL hockey in the Valley, we needed Team USA to win the gold medal to get our next guest on our show. Since we don't talk any hockey anymore. Well, we will when the Stanley Cup playoffs begin. But now joining us is a good friend of the program. I think we kind of helped him elevate his career many years ago.
Oh, there's no question.
Yeah, Steve Peters, former assistant coach for the Arizona Coyotes, part of the coaches' room, works for ESPN. Basically, all the stuff you guys see and hear on television during the broadcasts are from Steve Peters. Coach Pete, what's up, buddy? How are you?
Well, I do miss you guys, and you are correct. This did spring my career in sports media.
Yeah.
All started at Roc and Manuch and Jimmy D.
And you got to add the fact that you bring my trash can in, my recycled can when I wasn't there. Unfortunately, I don't live in the neighborhood anymore, but I'm sure you made friends with the people that bought my house, right? I'm sure you guys are having dinners on Friday and stuff, potluck and all that good stuff, like we used to do.
The truth is, Roc, I used to sit outside my front yard waiting for your garbage can to sit there just so I could get up a little bit, clear can, and hoping to get on the radio someday, and it worked. And it worked. Here I am.
You got to be the Mrs. Kravitz of the neighborhood, right? It's like the.
Oh, I'm terrible. Yeah.
No, he's not that. No, he's not that bad. Not old enough. Like you and Jimmy B would be those old people in the neighborhood.
Hey, don't put me in that category. You're on your own, my neighborhood. I told you, everybody in my neighborhood hates me.
All right, Coach. From a coach's eye, what stands out the most with this win, right? What stands out the most?
Well, I think what happened for Team USA is it showed that a group that played as a team could be a team that had the best individuals in the world. And that's what happened to Team USA. I think Canada, you look at McDavid, you look at McKinnon, you look at McCarr, that team was loaded with showstoppers, great players. And Team USA had good players, but they didn't have that elite player. So it was amazing to watch them play and play as a unit of 20 to get this thing accomplished. They had to play the right way through 60 minutes and then some to get this win over Canada.
So with that being said, a lot of I would say aficionados of Jack Hughes. A lot of novices really don't know. Talk about his career and all that he did, getting those chicklets that half a chicklet knocked out, picked it up, showed the official. But talk about the progress that he has been over the last several years and how that really shined in this game yesterday.
The Hughes family is a special group of kids, and none of them are very big, and none of them play with size or physicality. But you get a kid like Jack Hughes, and he plays with such amazing speed, and he's able to use his stick skills, his puck skills at that high speed, which makes him an incredibly special player. Unfortunately, last season he gets hurt before the Devils get into the playoffs. This year, this is a team that's struggling to find their way to the playoffs. Probably won't be there again this year. But this family as a whole, with 3 kids, all playing in the National Hockey League, all small stature kids with high-end skills, they have become the first family of the USA hockey for this country.
Steve Peters is our guest on the Right Toyota guest line. My question is this. Where I live, there are lots of Canadians. You would have thought that the world came to an abrupt halt when that goal was scored. And so I get all these people complaining, Steve, that they didn't like the overtime rules with the 3-on-3. Look, everybody plays by the same rules. It's no different. If Canada would have scored and won the game, they wouldn't be talking about 3-on-3. So is that just their outlet to try to vent how they can kind of determine why they lost?
It's amazing to me, and I've heard, well, the better team lost, or the team that played the best did not get the goal. No, I argue that point. I know the American goaltender played extremely well, but in baseball, if your star pitcher wins the game, they don't say, well, you won it because of one player. If your quarterback is great in football, they don't say, well, you won it because of your quarterback. Connor Hellebuyck is part of the team. The team beat you. Unfortunately, they were the better team. As far as the 3-on-3 rule, I tell you what, with the roster of Canadians, the guys I just mentioned, McDavid, McKinnon, and Makar, are the 3 fastest players on the planet. They were on the ice when the goal was scored against Team Canada. Those 3 players, who are arguably the 3 best players in the world, were on the ice, and they gave up a goal. So I do think the 3-on-3 favor the Canadians. I think they have a faster, more skilled team, but they didn't win. And the 3 players that I said were the fastest had key parts in making mistakes that led up to that American goal. So you're right. I think there are some sour grapes there. I get it. This is Canada's event. They've dominated Olympic hockey with best on best since the NHL players have gone to the Olympics, so I understand the frustration. I do think the better team won because they played head-to-head, and Team USA won.
Steve, when you look at Hellebuyck and, how he played his performance, which is phenomenal, does a performance like this kind of elevate him into the best of the world territory?
I think it does. And when you look at what he's done in the NHL, he's a Vezina Trophy winner. He's the guy who was in the top 3 goal getters for MVP of the league last year. The problem with Connor Hellebuyck and his goaltending in the National Hockey League is he's been great in the regular season. He just has not been able to put together a playoff run. And this was his chance to win a big game. He couldn't win in 4 Nations last year. He's never been able to get his team out of the first round. But now you win arguably the biggest game in the last 20 years, and he's victorious. So I do think that helps put a stamp on what he's done for his career. The biggest question now is, the Winnipeg Jets are 11 points out and way out of the playoff spot in the West. Can this jumpstart him and give him a little spark and get the Winnipeg Jets back into a playoff race? It's going to be fun to watch the last 30 games.
Steve, but the question I have is about the people trying to compare. We've got young kids that work for us behind the glass. Actually, we can't do the show without those 2 photos. That's why we love them so much. However, they are of the ilk that this was the greatest thing that ever happened, better than Miracle on Ice. And we try to explain to them, one, the Miracle on Ice took place in the semifinals, not the gold medal game. They beat Finland for that. And also, you're talking about 18 to 22-year-olds. And in this one, you're talking about 28 to 32-year-olds, real men skating on the ice. Can you please separate why the 1980 game still stands alone?
Yeah, and of course, I was 12 years old at that time. There's no comparison. No, and not even in the same universe in comparing these 2 things and what they did for hockey for the United States. You hit it on the head. This is like the ASU Sun Devils going in and beating the Utah Men. Like, this is a high school team beating the Steelers. Like this is on such a different level because the Russians at that time were the best team. It is like Team Canada. They were Team Canada. They were all the guys that would have been top players in the National Hockey League, but they weren't because they weren't allowed to play there. And a bunch of college kids beat them. A college all-star team beat the best team in the world. College all-stars beating Team Canada. You can imagine it. It changed the face of the way hockey was played in this country, and even deeper than that. it was a rallying cry for this country during the Cold War and gas shortages and all of these things were happening. It became so much more than a hockey game. And I know this was a great game. It might be the fastest hockey game I have ever seen. The talent and the speed was absolutely amazing. But it does not reach the level of the Miracle of 8.
You know, Steve, I was going to mention that these guys going up and down the ice incredibly well. What was the philosophy or strategy to build this team into this Olympics this year?
Yeah, it was different. Than you see two teams being built differently. You look at Team Canada, who is clearly a team that was built for offense and speed, and their top 12 forwards were amazing. They were able to roll 4 lines offensively, and then the Americans kind of had a top 6 with you saw with Chuckston, Eichel, and Matthews and Boldy, and then they had a bottom 6. Where guys were, Miller and Trocheck, guys that were kill penalties, guys that could play in the defensive zone. And they felt to beat Canada, they needed to have players like that could defend, be a little bit grittier, but maybe not score, but still have a big impact on the game. And when you look at the final tally from Team USA, they did not give up one power play goal in the entire tournament. So it paid off. And the way their team was built paid off. This team was not, their 12 forwards were not as good as Canada's top 12. They weren't. But they played together as a team. They were built as a team, and I think the results speak for themselves.
All right, Steve, my last one. How does a USA moment like this help hockey interest here in Arizona?
Well, I think we're going to see in the very near future. I know the several rinks in town that had bars attached to them.
Ice Den was packed. Yep, Ice Den was absolutely packed. Yep.
6 a.m., people up cheering on their team. I know there were watch parties across the city.
Yep.
I do think it does give a boost to those kids learning to play, and the timing is perfect right now. The youth hockey needs a boost of kids wanting to play the game again. Just with the NHL team on their second season away from the Valley, it's very important that you get that influx of 4, 5, 6, 7-year-olds playing the sport. And I do think it is going to jumpstart that. What I think is more important is what does this do to hockey across the country in the interest and the financial wherewithal with ownership groups that can go, hey, where can we put a team? Maybe Arizona. And I'm hopeful that this helps get the ball rolling faster and getting a team returning to Arizona. I do think hockey is going to be on the forefront of people's minds for the next few months. Playoffs are just around the corner, and let's hope that builds interest in the Valley with some of the big wigs financially.
Steve, is there anything that you have heard with the Shane Doan group about the Yotes, or not the Yotes, but NHL hockey coming back? Is there any rumblings at all, or it's still kind of quiet?
It's funny. It is quiet, but don't take that as inaction. Okay, the lack of the noise. I did get a chance actually. I saw Shane at an ASU game recently, and I asked him, and he wasn't forthcoming with a lot of details, but he did say he still believes hockey will be back in the not too distant future. He was very positive. He said, right now there are people with money that are there and that are interested. It's just a matter of getting them all together as a group and then agreeing on where an arena should be. He was more confident here than a couple of the other cities you're hearing a lot about. So it was comforting, and there's still hope, but it's not anytime.
All right, so we'll see you in June. Talk Stanley Cup final.
Can't wait. Let's go. Stanley Cup final.
I'll send you a calendar invite, okay? Get you on the air.
Can't wait, guys.
Okay. Thanks, buddy, as always, Jim.
Thanks,
I'll give you a shout. That's you guys. Steve Peters Choice. Follow my S. Peters Hockey. Of course, he's got a podcast, Coach's Room. Phenomenal. If you need your fill of hockey needs, there's a guy to do it. All right, we're going to get to the hardwood report next. That's Arizona knocks off Houston in a statement win. ASU went toe-to-toe with Baylor. GCU dropped one at home. NAU nearly steals one on the road. Which Arizona program looks the most pretty clear? But we'll get to our backyard desert hardwood report.
Have you ever been to Rodizo Grill? Let me tempt you. Start your Rodizo experience with their hot, unlimited appetizers. Indulge on our award-winning gourmet salad bar with over 35 items. Then, 16 delicious, sizzling rotisserie grilled meats and grilled items like our tender top sirloin and Rodizo's signature glazed pineapple, as much as you like. Rodizo Grill, the Brazilian steakhouse.
Located in Mesa, North Scottsdale.
Phoenix, if you need a plumber, call the team that does it the right way. Victory Plumbing Arizona. It's particular plumbing for particular people with upfront pricing before the work starts. So there's no surprises when the job's done. And here's a deal just for listeners. Tell them you heard Victory Plumbing on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, and they'll waive the service charge. For leaks, clogs, water heaters, or anything plumbing, book today at victoryplumbingarizona.com. ROC number 268603.
I was in a wreck. I need a check. I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm a Rudy Chevrolet. Being in an auto accident is traumatic. You need to call the best law firm that has the experience to get you the best results. Call 977-1900. That's 977-1900.
Now open in North Scottsdale. It's the Orangedale Lounge. ODs. Right off Thompson Peak at Bell, next to Bash's. Your new favorite dive bar has arrived. Cold drafts, chill vibes, always affordable prices, and the OD Mug Club, a one-of-a-kind membership you won't find anywhere else. No frills, just great people, ice-cold drinks, and a bar that feels like it's always been there. Follow at OD Scottsdale and get the scoop at OrangedaleLounge.com. Orangedale Lounge. Dive in and drink up.
Hey, it's Gamble, and I'm with Stuart Willis, the president of Asset Preservation, Wealth, and Tax. Stuart, there's all these different phases to save in your life, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. But when you get close to retirement age, isn't it wiser to start to make sure that your money, you're more conservative with your money instead of more aggressive? First of all, it all depends on your comfort level with risk. You don't want to mess up your retirement. You see the finish line is close and you want to be done. Most people know this. People who want to be rich buy stocks. People who are already rich buy fixed income, which is why you move to a more conservative approach personally. Yes, because it's important for me to make sure I protect the money I've been able to save so far. That's why it's important to know exactly what your comfort level with risk is. So if you want a financial advisor that can work with you and help you with the risk management, call Stuart Willis at Asset Preservation, Wealth, and Tax at 602-877-PLAN for a free portfolio review.
Back to the guys as they cover the state of Arizona and dive into the latest storylines, teams, and matchups from around the state and hoops.
Yeah, Anthony Del Orso, he led with 22 as Arizona took down number 2 Houston 73-66 on Saturday. A huge resume win that gave them sole possession of the first place in the Big 12 and snapped that new home streak for Houston. Also showed that they can gut out games, which was good on the road. Next up, Baylor. Big road test, but a chance to stack another quality win before March. Good W for Arizona as a lot of upsets over the weekend. Casey Jacobs is going to join us in about 15 minutes. We'll talk more college hoops and in regards to Duke beat Michigan, some of the others, Tennessee, Vanderbilt. How about Cincinnati going into Kansas? Jeez, wow, good stuff there. Arizona State, they fought, but ultimately they fell to the Baylor Bears. And Baylor hit some key shots down the stretch. ASU battled, but they couldn't close it out. So next up, I think they're at TCU. Yeah. So next, so tomorrow another road environment that'll be tough for them. But that season's kind of winding down for the Sundays.
I'm of the ilk right now where I thought ASU had a chance to beat Baylor, and once again they played one game at home and everybody got excited because they won. Then they went on the road and then struggled again. Look, this is a team that is really going nowhere. We know what's inevitable at the end of the season. There will be a coaching change. And it's one of those things where you just have to sit back, take it all in and say, okay, we're just going to have to have a new voice in the room, a new head coach, a new staff, and then try to get this thing back to be competitive in what is the very best basketball conference in the country.
Well, I think they've been competitive. The TCU game they won, they were competitive without the big guy. But this game, they're by 8 at halftime.
Yeah.
But again, what happens when you watch ASU play, all of a sudden Baylor starts shooting lights out.
Yeah.
And, they get within range, and then ASU, unlike the TCU game, they can kind of match that when they have their big guy. What's the big guy that came out of Texas Tech that got hurt?
Oh, Toppin, JT Toppin.
But this game, all of a sudden, Baylor,
Texas Tech.
Yeah, Texas Tech, they catch fire, and they outscored. They almost doubled. The Devils could find it in the second half. Now, when you only play 7 guys, you're starting to see a very weary Sun Devil team. And if not for Pete Johnson, when he scored 20 points coming off the bench, I mean, that kid, you wonder why he's not starting, but you can see how effective he is coming off the bench.
I was just going to say.
He's very effective. I mean, everybody else really struggled. John only had 10 points, Odom 12. I don't know if to your point, Jimmy, the fatigue of how hard they had to play with only 7 or 8 guys to start to pitch up to this team. You look at what they got tomorrow to the TCU and where they're going from here, but they're competitive for a while. And then you just see them kind of whip. It always seems the last 5 or 6 minutes, the opponent makes a move. They start hitting shots, getting rebound, and all of a sudden the issue has some key turnovers toward the end of the game or some bad shooting at the very end.
Manuch, they just can't finish.
That's good. Yeah, that's it. They struggle finish.
Yeah.
Where other teams
find a way to finish.
You saw U of A, they held off Houston.
Yeah.
Hold off Houston, and they finished with some key shot. How about Del Orso getting it at the end of the year? Here he comes, lad, your boy, who was ice cold for about, 5 or 6 games.
Throw it in the ocean.
22 points off the bench. And I think that those are some of the things that they'll start to get. So be very intrigued to get Casey Jacobson's thoughts on this about 15.
All right, GCU dropped the home game to Wyoming. Bad loss, 72-64. A loss that kind of puts some pressure on them right now as they hit the final stretch. They got UNLV at home on Wednesday night. NAU up there in Flag. They were at Northern Colorado. Almost stole one, but they fell 81-77. They're showing some growth, but just like Arizona State, that is, they struggle to finish games. So there you have it, the hardwood reports, which today and every day is brought to you by Backyard Desert Ridge, and we'll be there tomorrow. Yeah, look forward to that from 1 to 4.
You mentioned NAU, 11.5-point dog on the road. They have one last shot.
So rankings today, AP, Duke is number 1 as they beat Michigan. Arizona improves to number 2 with their win over Houston. Michigan drops to 3 with their loss to Duke. Iowa State they lose, but they stay at number 4, or they go up to number 4. Houston drops to 5. UConn is now at 6. Florida is 7. And then rounding out the top 10, Purdue. They beat Indiana, and they are 8. Gonzaga, they had a tough one over Pacific. They are at 9. And then Illinois, which what a game that was to lose on a last-second shot. UCLA, they're at number 10.
I thought when that kid took off and raced all the way end to end, I just flashed to Boise, Idaho, and Tyus Edney doing that in the NCAA tournament. That's exactly what flashed into my mind.
By the way, Miami of Ohio moved up a notch.
Yeah,
won. Yeah, so they're 27-0 in the Mid-American Conference with the win over Bowling Green. So they're sitting at 21. But you look at a lot of the teams that are in the, from 14 up to like 20, they all have about 6 or 7 losses. So you can still lose some games, still fare pretty well.
It seems though this time of year, things are settling down. People that were, guns a-blazing, they're getting beat. And the other teams that were starting off slow are starting to come
get a few wins.
Yeah, but the Duke Michigan game, watching that, I went, is this a precursor to the national title game? I mean, that was big boy ball, speed, shooters, size, going back and forth. What a great game that was. And I was surprised to see how Michigan could manhandle that Duke team.
No, they could not. No, Duke is very physical, as physical as Michigan is. Guys, let me ask you this. It was played in Washington, D.C., where the Washington Wizards NBA team played. So it's a neutral court. and it was fun. The place was packed, but wouldn't you rather have it at one of the team's gyms? Wouldn't you rather have it at Duke, or wouldn't you rather have it at Chrysler Arena?
Yes,
And
but maybe.
Michigan?
I mean, what do you have there?
Could
I mean,
you guys that flavor?
Well, yeah, it's still basketball's pretty big out
Still
there.
two teams out there. I understand. Maybe I'm just more of a traditionalist when you're late in the season instead of playing. I don't have a problem playing out of conference games late in the season. I just think they should be at one of the other teams' gyms.
I agree with that. Especially this late in the season.
Yeah.
But if this was in October, fine.
Yeah, that'd be
November,
fine.
fine.
Yeah, exactly. Where's Cameron Indoor hold? 10,000, 12,000? No. Only holds about 9, 9.5.
So maybe when they saw this matchup, they
Well,
said,
yeah.
cha-ching.
Oh, yeah.
Let's fill the house.
I get that.
But I love it. That being said, the atmosphere was great. It was like, okay, we got a precursor to the NCAA. Look, these two big boys going at it, the Big Ten, ACC. To see, I'm sure they're both the number one seed. But I love seeing that kind of that tit for tat going back and forth.
Oh, yeah.
Same like kind of skill set that they had. Duke got one more shot. Got more shots.
They did. And the key was, look how much they scored in the paint. Just let that be a lesson to everybody.
By the way, a little team just to kind of keep your eyes on. Navy.
What?
Yes.
Is David Robinson playing for them?
They're 15-1 in the Patriots.
Wow.
They've won 11 straight. They even got an AP vote.
No kidding.
Excuse me. Navy basketball.
They
have
haven't
the
been-
Patriots. Man, they're in the conference. We'd love to see them. You put Navy on your bracket, especially all those people that really don't follow college basketball.
Yeah.
They'll probably have Navy go to the Final Four.
There's your sleeper. You're sitting around. I'm telling you, when David Robinson played for Navy, and they had two other guys who were pretty good players as well. They were so dominant, it was unbelievable.
We'll continue this conversation coming up. Casey Jacobson from FS1. We'll talk about Duke surviving Michigan. Of course, more on Arizona over Houston, and then Kansas getting run out of Cincinnati. And who looks like a real Final Four team? Now, we will ask him next, but first, here's another local ESPN Radio 620 Sports Center update.
It's now time for your Roc and Manuch ESPN 620 Sports Center update. I'm Connor Collins. Sad news across the valley this weekend as former Arizona Cardinals wide receiver Rondell Moore passed away at just age 25, and former Phoenix Mercury forward Cara Braxton also passed away at the age of 43. In Suns news, forward Dylan Brooks did go ahead and get surgery today on that broken hand that he suffered against the Orlando Magic in double overtime win. He is expected to miss about 4 to 6 weeks with that broken left hand. And this afternoon, the Diamondbacks are taking on the Cleveland Guardians, currently down 0-2 in the bottom of the fifth. So we'll keep you updated on that as the game goes on. This ESPN 620 Sports Center update is sponsored by Backyard Desert Ridge, home for Suns watch parties, high school drinks, and wall-to-wall game day entertainment. Catch every Suns moment on massive LED walls and more than 50 HD TVs. Stop by Desert Ridge, where we're going to be there live tomorrow, and we'll be glad to see you.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into Kim's Smashed Burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
Rock for WhiteToyota.com. At White Toyota, they'd like you to get to know them. Their goal is to make buying your next vehicle the kind of experience that earns your recommendation to family and friends. They invite you to use all their innovative web tools on WhiteToyota.com. So if you're looking for a new or pre-owned Toyota, head to their interactive website at WhiteToyota.com. The right price, the right selection, all at WhiteToyota.com.
Hey, every Tuesday at 2 o'clock, make sure you're locked in for the Lopes Report, powered by Global Credit Union on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy P right here on ESPN Radio Phoenix. Each week, the guys are talking GCU athletics, the playmakers, the coaches, and the people building one of the fastest rising programs in the country. And if you visit live, We got you covered. Every Lopes report is posted on the Arizona Sports app and the Guys social platforms. The Lopes Report, Tuesdays at 2, powered by Global Credit Union.
Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice cold Bud Light or a refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Hey, it's time to find that F-Series truck you want at a price you can't afford to miss because it is Ford Truck Month. Yep, and Ford Truck Month is about the only way that America's best-selling line of trucks for 49 years running gets better. Ford Truck Month at our Desert Ford dealers. Hey, Paul County here. Man, we wait all year for these amazing offers. The Ford F-150. America counts on it. We get to drive it. And that's not all we get. Check out these savings. How about 0% APR for 60 months with zero down, zero payments for up to 90 days, plus $1,000 in truck month cash on a 2025 Ford F-150. We're talking on the job site, on the family camper, off-roading. F-150 trucks are icons of muscle and performance. And again, during Ford Truck Month, get 0% APR for 60 months with zero down, zero payments for up to 90 days, plus $1,000 in truck month cash on a 2025 Ford F-150. Put it all in. It's March 31st. Just click buy4now.com.
Let's get back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B now on ESPN 620.
How about that? Donovan Dent with the buzzer beater to beat Illinois, and the Bruins, of course, getting a lot of play because their head coach. That's what he set off for it. But now joining us, nice enough. He's always on the road. He's busy. He's, of course, lives here in the Valley. We'll talk about his place as well. But Casey Jackson joins us here on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Most recently got to call the Purdue Iowa game last week, and I got to ask you, though, Casey, I mean, you've been doing this a long time. You played at a high level at Stanford. I don't remember a year, maybe, I don't know, and I've been doing this 30-plus years, that we've seen so many upsets and big games, like really big games, matchups, you know, like Houston, Arizona, and Duke, and Michigan playing on the same weekend. What is it this year that is making this so much different? At least for me, you think it feels different.
Well, a couple of things. I think there are more quality teams in the top 10 than any year that I've been broadcasting for 12 years now. Yeah. There's more quality in the top 10 in this year's college basketball than any year that I can remember. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's just how I feel. And so when you have that much quality, you are going to have these teams kind of beat up on each other. And then outside of the top 10, you go from like the 10 to top 25 teams. I think the talent and the quality of players in college basketball, we are looking at one of the highest of highs in college. Like, just good players, man. Like, even a team like Wisconsin has been ranked and unranked all year. They're awesome, and they can beat any team. Like, they beat Michigan on the road. They beat Illinois on the road. And so Wisconsin's just another is an example of a team where they're not in the top 10, but, man, they have three really good players, maybe an NBA player on their team. And there are a lot of players and programs that are like that this season, which hasn't always been the case. So that, I think, is the number one source of where these upsets are coming. And then, you know, just the fact that Duke and Michigan played a non-conference in late February is very unusual. I think it'll happen more as the years go on, but that to me is something that I think college basketball is starting to figure out as sports fans, football fans turn the page from football to basketball. Maybe we should present some of these fans with bigger, more quality matchups in college basketball to introduce themselves to what's going on this year. I think you'll see that trend kind of maybe continue in the next coming years.
So Casey, what is that formula? Talk about parity. What's the top 25? Is it the NIL? Is it the transfer portal? Is it guys staying more
then one here. He fell several leagues. So what do you feel is the formula for this? Listen to the top 10 or top 15 to be at this point here seems like maybe not making quite a far pretty damn close to beating the team.
Yeah, you first have to start with the fact that this college basketball is now a professional league, and so and where do you find that the most? Well, you find it the most for these fringe NBA players. What I'm talking about are college players who they're not lottery picks. I'm not talking about those guys. Outside of lottery, maybe late first round or second round picks, those have in the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years, those guys, majority of them go to the NBA or go to Europe. They go to get paid. They're not. They don't want to be college athletes. They want to be professional athletes. And college was a stepping stone. Well, now these college players are getting paid more than most second-round draft picks. College players are getting paid more than most European Americans that go over to Europe and get paid. And so these guys are now thinking, hey, unless I'm a lottery pick, I might as well have a good time playing college basketball, get paid more, and maybe my draft stock will go up. So it's a win-win-win for everybody. And I think it's a win-win-win for the NBA as well. You're getting guys that have been, seasoned and coached a little bit more by quality coaching in college basketball. But that's the biggest reason why there's a lot of European guys who are like not Americans, but actually Europeans. Illinois would be the best case, the best example of this, where they've had guys that have actually played professionally in Europe for a year or two, and they're like, man, I can get paid more going to play for Illinois than I can for playing for Real Madrid or whomever they're at. It has totally changed the dynamic of college basketball and changed the quality of the game for the best.
All right, I'm with you on that, Casey, 100%. I've called a lot of college games in my lifetime, including even when you were playing at Stanford. The thing that I want to ask you, and I want to ask you this, if you've ever seen it, I have never seen in all of the time that I have done college basketball a player like Peterson at Kansas and everything that is surrounding him. He's in, he's out, he's in, he's out, and yet people are still predicting that he will be the number one draft pick, where he might play 18 minutes and then signal to Coach Bill Self, hey, get me out. Have you seen anything that even resembles this in your basketball history?
No, there hasn't been anything like it. I read all the articles I can. I try to listen to all the interviews I can, and no one's really come up with something that's comparable. But can I offer a couple of perspectives or explanations? Let's go with number one. Darren Peterson's biggest, physical issue. There's two physical issues with him. One was a hamstring injury. Hamstrings can linger. They linger for a very long time. They are finicky. You can you could be good for a couple of weeks, and then all of a sudden you explode and it tweaks again, and then you're kind of back to square one. He dealt with that. Now, from an NBA scout perspective, I don't care if a college player has a hamstring injury. That's not concerning to me. That wouldn't deter me from taking him once if his talent level was number one. It's a soft tissue injury. It's not like a bone injury. It's not like he's had multiple ACL injuries where you would wonder if his body structure just won't hold up. So that's where it's different. That's why I still think there's a lot of NBA scouts that are like, this guy is the best scorer in college basketball. Like, he may not be the best, most productive player across the board, point, rebound, assist, steal, all that stuff, but pure putting the ball in the basket, you won't find anybody better than Darren Peterson at Kansas this season. So it's, that soft tissue injury, hey, look, that to me doesn't. It's possible that it won't be long term, so I still believe in there. The other part is the cramping. This is where it gets really bizarre. Look, I've dealt with cramps. I've had teammates that dealt with cramps. But for this long period of time to deal with cramps, never seen that before. Where a guy it is a week-to-week thing. You're asking yourself as a teammate and Darren Peterson's coaches, hey, will Darren Peterson finish the game tonight? Will he finish it next game? Will he finish? And it's so bizarre. He played in 16 games, but I believe in only half of those games has he actually played more than 30 minutes and completed the game. That to me is the most scratching. I can't think of any where cramps literally have lingered for more than 2 months. And it's a game-to-game thing. I can't explain that. Don't know what to do. And certainly we are at a point now where you do have to ask, like, mentally what's going on here. And I wouldn't be scared to take him number one with the combination of these things going on physically.
Casey, watching the Wildcats at Cole and Pete, want to get your thoughts on Cole, I guess, a lower body. But watching the Cats this year, maybe in years past, Tommy Lloyd's the head coach. Strategy pretty much the same, athletes pretty much the same, or is there a difference with this Wildcats team? And 10 years in the past, even the team that went 23-0 to start the season, somewhat 14, 15 years ago.
I'm going to say something about Arizona that I've said a couple times on TV, and I don't, sometimes we get a little bit crazy. We start to be dramatic. I am fascinated by this Arizona team more than any team before tournament started that I've covered in my 12 years. And the reason I'm fascinated with them is two things. The first is the three-point thing with them. Okay, when I say the three-point thing, they don't need it. They don't shoot it. They can make them, but they don't. It's not a part of their. It's not even like on the top three of their offensive list of things to do when they play basketball. That is so fascinating to me, and they continue to just kick the crap out of like high-level opponents. Every other team needs three-pointers to a certain extent to win quality games. They just do. Every team except for Arizona. They have 3 top 5 wins this year, and all 3 of those wins, they've made 3 or less three-pointers in those games. That is so bizarre, and you would think that every team that plays Arizona is like, all right, guys, we're going to pack the paint. We're not going to let them crush us down low. We're going to do everything we can. That's what every team does, and yet they still kill you in the paint. They still shoot a ton of threes. That's wild. The second thing I'm fascinated by is you mentioned Kofi's out, but when he's healthy, he starts for them, and he is one of 3 freshmen that start. There's only been one team that has won an NCAA tournament championship in the history of college basketball that has started 3 freshmen. One, it was 2012 Kentucky Wildcats and Anthony Davis. That's it. So there's been a couple teams that have started 2, several that have started 1 freshman, but only one that has started 3. Now, Duke started 3 freshmen last year. They lost in the Final Four to Houston by a possession. So you can get close. You can get to a Final Four. But winning a national championship when you're starting 3 freshmen who've never played in the tournament before is normally not how it's done. But this Arizona team, they've given me no reason to doubt them. It's just that those 2 things, to me, are so interesting. I can't wait to watch how they perform in March.
Casey, top 4 teams right now.
Arizona, Duke, Michigan. The last one's tough because I'm either going with Houston or Iowa State. I'll probably go with Houston, but I think Iowa State is fantastic. They play a really aggressive brand of basketball, and but I think it's a pretty clear, to me, clear top 5. Maybe Florida, UConn, kind of on the outside looking in.
Florida's good.
Top 5. Yeah, Florida's very good. They started 5-4 on the season, including they lost to Arizona first game of the year. 5-4 is not what you're looking for, guys, out of the gate. Okay, but I'm not going to hold that. We're now in late February. They are a completely different basketball team than they were back then.
All right, Casey, we have to do it every time. I know it's not a paid endorsement, but what you're doing out there at Arena 23, you got to tell us a little bit more about that. We always got new people tuning in, new people moving in the valley. Kind of give us the elevator pitch on Arena 23.
Well, no, I actually don't want to talk about that too much. I'd rather talk a little bit more about basketball, if you don't mind. It's been a difficult ride for us as a business, actually. We are no longer in business. Right. Yep. No, I thought we did our best. It was an idea that I had that I tried so hard to get off the ground, but we could make it work. So. Next time we can talk a little bit more about basketball.
Absolutely. I want to talk to the side because I work out at the Arizona Athletic Grounds, and we're always looking for some things. Yeah. Maybe there's a tie-in to what you have been doing. You could do over there. It's 75 acres, so there's something there. So I'll reach out to you on the side. But Casey, thank you. Appreciate your time as always, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a good week.
That's Casey Jacobson. You can follow him on XC, Jacobson23, powered by Right Toyota, Right Price, Right Selection, and always right dealership located in Scottsdale. We're always there on Friday. All right, the NFL Combine kicks off today. Top quarterbacks are in the spotlight. Teams are clearing cap space. Contracts are getting structured. We're getting all that. Plus, is the push here? Let's hope so. That's next. Roc Manuch, Jimmy.
Nobody does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Nobody. Whatever you're craving, we've got it. Tequila cocktails, premium bourbon pours, and top shelf spirits served over ice balls that hit just right. Local craft beers and handcrafted whiskey cocktails, yep, all here. And with 5 Valley locations. And don't forget Petite Catering 29-degree drafts we're famous for. Pair it all with scratch kitchen bites that actually satisfy. From shareables to hearty favorites. When it comes to happy hour, Twin Peaks doesn't play. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, scenic views, tragedy strikes. The impact is immediate and devastating. That's when the 100 Club of Arizona steps in, providing financial assistance, guidance, and emotional support to the families of public safety officers injured or killed in the line of duty. They also invest in mental health resources, injury prevention, and scholarships for the children of first responders. Every day, Arizona's public safety professionals put their lives on the line. The 100 Club of Arizona has their back. Learn more at 100club.org.
With Sun Devil women's basketball, it's not just a game, it's a show. The speed, the swagger, the no-look passes that make the crowd gasp, the intensity that feels like it could light up the court by itself. Every night, this team brings fire, fast breaks, big moments, and defensive energy you can feel from the top row to the hardwood. If you want basketball with heart, fight, and pure showmanship, you want Sun Devil women's basketball. Get your seats now at sundeviltickets.com.
Looking for the perfect place to eat, drink, watch the game, and keep the night going? That's Backyard Desert Ridge. Enjoy elevated bar favorites and a killer drink menu. Catch every play on 40-plus HD TVs or 4 massive LED walls. Then challenge your friends to a game of your own. And when the game ends, the party keeps rolling with live entertainment and DJs nightly. Backyard Desert Ridge. Comfortably familiar. Always exciting. We'll see you in the backyard.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm a church on the road. Getting reared in once is not enough. Don't let the insurance company hit you again with a low ball offer. Call an experienced attorney who knows how to fight and win. Call Laura Road today. 977-1900.
Hey y'all, I'm Kelly Clarkson. Every American dreams of creating a better life for his or her family, but in some communities, those dreams face difficult challenges. When we come together to help those in need get the same opportunities as everyone else, we truly are making our country a better place to live for all of us. So look for volunteer opportunities in your community to help others achieve the American dream, all right? This message is courtesy of the United States Air Force.
Now back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Now on ESPN 620.
All right, 2026 NFL Combine officially kicked off today. Player check-ins, medicals, interviews, sheet is rolling. On-field workouts start later in the week. 319 prospects were invited, 165 offensive, 146 defensive, and 7 specialists. And, of course, the top player, or at least the first-round pick, first player to be selected or maybe selected, Fernando Mendoza. Yeah, he's projected. Every throw, every 40, every interview matters to somebody, not me. I can care less. So many of you guys, you former players, love the combine.
God, love it.
Oh, it's such a waste.
Just guys running around with short pants on. By the way, it looks like Joe Aguilar will probably be attending a combine since he was shot down this morning about when will he come back to Tennessee. A judge ruled in favor of the NCAA just after a judge in Mississippi ruled in favor of Ole Miss for Tristan Chandler to come back. So it's very interesting how the NCAA won one this morning. So Aguilar, I don't know if he's going to appeal it or not, but he was invited to the combine, so he'll probably go now going, hey, look, I had 2 years of being in college like Pavia, like Diego Pavia had, not going to get it. Diego Pavia didn't get it. Nope. And so that whole thing about Duke football having 1 or 2 years to not count toward your eligibility was shot down by a judge. And then another judge upheld it in Mississippi for Tristan Chambliss. I like Chambliss. I love Aguilar. But now Tennessee going to have to go find a quarterback somewhere. That's right. I doubt if there's anybody with their salt in the portal still left. So they're kind of got between a rock and a hard place about quarterbacking in Tennessee.
So here at the Combine, or there at the Combine, League's competition committee is discussing a significant potential change, allowing replay officials to throw flags for certain penalties. Now, before you freak out, this would be for like holding or pass interference. This would focus on like non-football acts like throwing punches or stepping on players or the dirty plays that we see. So 2 examples that were cited was the most recent Super Bowl where there was no penalty when a player threw a punch on the sideline. Yes. You remember Derek Hoss, stepped on a player and no flag was thrown, but he was later suspended. So under this new proposal, the replay official can just step in and before the next snap, just throw the flag and possibly even eject the player. So that's pretty cool. So we'll see how that thing flies.
Do you? Okay. If you saw the sideline officials in the Super Bowl, there's like 3 of them on each sideline. Right. The one guy stepped in to stop that. He did. I would think if that sideline official, and there's 3 of them there, that if he sees something egregious like that, they might have a flag on them to throw the flag if the guys on the field don't throw it. Because the guys in the field, they're running over and they're breaking stuff up. They may not see it. But those sideline guys who clearly, like at least 3 times, got involved with either a coach or players, you got those scrum, I just wonder if he'd be allowed to throw the flag or say, hey, look, you guys missed it. I just saw a guy throw a punch at so-and-so. You throw the flag to review it and go from there.
I don't think they should do it. Gambling.
Oh, I see.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Sportsbook.
Yeah. You could.
So 20 seconds after a play, a flag is thrown?
Yeah, I get you.
You're going to tell me I'm not going to be pissed off if I'm like, and then it's a flag and it means 10 yards first down, and then they go around and they score?
My whole contention is if it's not called by the guys on the field and they miss it, they miss it. Now, what they're saying now is,
replay official.
Replay official.
Somebody in New York is controlling the game.
You know what? An egregious act that wasn't called.
So you're for it or not for it? You just report it.
I'm for it. Yeah, I'm for it.
Dumb.
Yeah,
Stupid. Dumb. You let somebody control the game in New York. It's not even there.
If they see something, they do that with a lot of plays. They'll go to New York on replays. What's the difference?
But these are plays that have nothing to do with the game itself. They're off the field.
If they're on the sideline and some guy comes out of nowhere and punches a linebacker, made a tackle, that gets a penalty. Plus, whoever that knucklehead is gets kicked out of the game. You better hope it's not one of your starters.
I will say, I think that's a very distinct difference you have to have in that ruling because I agree with Roc. I mean, just from the player's perspective, Manuch, as an offensive lineman, right? I know.
You hold every time. You hold every time.
There's about 75% of the plays you're holding, but it's, the 5 times or the 10 times in the season that you have to worry about getting called. Now, if you were just to play and they had called that after, or like a defensive pass interference, that's going to burn people up. Sure. But I think you're right, Manuch, like if it's an altercation or if you had some type of unsportsmanlike, that would be the only way. I would hate if they started going into the replay booths.
That's the thing. Once it gets started, it's going to open Pandora's box, and it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Yeah, but
look at instant replay. Look at everything. It's crazy now.
Well, they tried to do it with the flags for one season, and then they instantly stopped.
Yeah. You sound like how often is that going to happen?
Yeah.
It might happen twice.
That's one time I lose $100.
Sorry, Roc. I'm not worried about your wallet.
Legalized gambling is here to stay.
It is.
It's not going anywhere. But if it starts getting corrupt like it is in other countries, like soccer, it's going to get out of hand.
Is this coming from the committee?
This is coming from Vincent.
From Troy Vincent.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that if it's something that's that egregious, that is missed. If it's missed, that somebody punched somebody from behind and hammered him, then I think at that point, they're going to go, hey, look, this just happened. I don't think that there's. I will say this. They'll probably curtail anything happen on the field. I think it's more sideline type stuff.
I'm with you.
You talked about the punch on the sideline.
Yeah.
Hardly anybody saw that.
Yeah.
I mean, those
guy in New York.
Well, he saw it.
Nobody saw it, but the guy got fined afterwards, right?
Yeah.
Afterwards.
Yeah. Well, that didn't impact your gambling.
It doesn't matter. It's just the fact. Come on. It's like you got in trouble after the fact.
Well, okay, that happened.
But nothing happened at the game.
A lot of guys get fined for egregious hits after games. They're going to get penalized. They'll go, hey, so and so,
Yeah.
you did a helmet to helmet. You didn't call it.
Right.
We're going to fine you get $50,000.
Yeah.
Let's move on. The NFL is officially confirmed. No team submitted a proposal to ban the tush push.
Yeah.
The deadline has passed. Good. That means the quarterback sneak stays.
Yes. Good. Thank you. We just put that to rest. Hey, if you can't stop them, move on.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, stop it.
What do you say? Well, their fault. You have some seeds with that line.
Yeah, exactly.
If you stop it, it's part of
Now,
football.
the competition committee did discuss more of a broader concept by aiding the runner, meaning specifically whether the players being lifted or carried in the end zone. Should that be addressed? But nothing happened. Nothing moving forward
It
on that.
did because I knew what running back it was. They picked him up. And he moved about another 5 yards. What game was that? Daniel scored a touchdown for like the 10. They moved it forward.
I'm trying this past season.
Yeah.
I think it might have been James Cook, but I'd have to double check.
Might have been.
I think it was James.
Yeah, the Bills
That's
game.
legal.
Yeah.
They like lifted him
They
up
did. Carried him.
and scored him to the 2-yard line.
All right, all you elite wrestling fans, All Elite Wrestling is heading to Tucson.
All right.
For the first time ever, the AEW Collision takes over Tucson Arena. That's Saturday, March 7th. If you want to be part of history, as this huge event, which this is a big deal.
Yeah.
I was told, hey, you guys need to start talking about this.
Hey, Hangman Adam Page is my guy.
Oh, well, you want
AEW.
tickets? They're now available at Ticketmaster.com.
All right, Chris Statlander. Can't
Or
wait
if, you,
to
if,
see
you
her.
want me to, or if you want me to hook you up, man, I maybe know somebody. to
I
hook
bet
you
you-
up down there
I
at
bet
Tucson
you agree.
Arena. Hey, you guys want to go? Seriously,
Yeah.
you want to drive down to Tucson?
Yeah.
All right, coming up, start of hour number 3. What's more satisfying as a sports fan? Beating Canada in hockey or beating Mexico in soccer? We're going to debate that one next. I'm sure everybody has an opinion with that. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B here on ESPN Radio Phoenix, on FM at 98.7 HD2, and always on the Arizona Sports app.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Jackson Hewitt knows taxes are complicated. With multiple jobs and tax forms, they're like, that's a lot. Our no surprise pricing keeps things simple. Jackson Hewitt does your taxes for only $149 or less. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back. So what are you waiting for? Hurry. File with Jackson Hewitt today for only $149 or less, guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Chick-fil-A's new frosted soda and float. It's a 10 out of 10. Hey, this is Lizzie, a team member at my local Chick-fil-A, and the little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and new frosted sodas and floats is how well they go together. You will love having your favorite soda blended with our creamy ice stream to make a new frosted soda or float. With the mix of the ice stream and soda fizz, it's so delicious, I call it Fizzalicious. Order a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and a new frosted soda and float at your local Chick-fil-A restaurant. Real team member paid for their testimonial.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. And now, during our President's Day sale, take 50% off our limited edition bed. Plus, free home delivery with any bed and base. Ends Monday. Only at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com.
Swing into Vans Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf to get custom fit for the new TaylorMade QI4E driver. The QI4E family is TaylorMade's fastest, most fittable driver line. Don't miss out on your chance to find your new fast and schedule your fitting in store or online today. Vans Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Trusted by golfers since 1963 and home to the legendary 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee. Get there.
Game on Peoria. When it's time to eat big, drink cold, and watch every play, make it Big's American Bar and Grill in the P83 district. Big's is serving up huge portions of your favorites. Burgers, wings, nachos, plus a full bar and TVs everywhere you look. And don't miss happy hour Monday through Thursday, 3 to 6:30 p.m. with $2 off well drinks and $2 off domestic drafts, plus daily specials all week long. Bring your friends, grab a seat on the patio, and settle in for the game. Big's American Bar and Grill, where Peoria comes to play, eat, and watch. KTAR AM Phoenix, Arizona's home for the worldwide leader in sports. It's ESPN 620. And now, an on-air sports marketing presentation. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Now on ESPN 620, 98.7 FM HD-2, and streaming live at ArizonaSports.com. The guys are powered by the law offices of Lerner and Rowe. In a record need a check? Make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. And now on your ESPN station in Phoenix, ESPN 620, Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B.
You know, I can't even believe this. I mean, it's such an unbelievable game. USA Canada, that's such a good game. They have so many great players. We're a great team. That's exactly how we wanted to go. We wanted to go through Canada and beat them. It could have went either way tonight, but that's an unbelievable win for the Americans.
All right, let's level this up. We just watched U.S. beat Canada in hockey. Massive. But here's where I'm going. Beating Canada in hockey earns respect. Beating Mexico in soccer changes history. Because here's the difference. USA and Canada play for hockey gold, right? It's expected. But USA and Mexico have never met in a World Cup. Think about that. If that ever happened, the entire Western Hemisphere would shut down for a couple hours. And to even get there, you got to survive the qualifications, the road games, the World Cup group stage. Then you have to win the single elimination knockout rounds. No best of 7, no margin for error. One bounce, you're done. In hockey, there may be 6 real gold contenders. In soccer, there's 30 plus teams that you can end your tournament. And Mexico doesn't just like soccer; it breathes soccer. So if the United States beat Mexico on the biggest global stage, like the World Cup, the semifinal or the final, that's not just a win. That's like a generation shift. So I'm asking you guys this. What's bigger? Beating Canada in hockey or beating Mexico in soccer?
But it would have to be a gold medal game or a championship, FIFA championship game, right? Not just beating Mexico, because they have beaten them in the past.
Yeah, it's been a few times.
Because the biggest stage of all, the World Cup. World Cup. Okay. For me, I look at so soccer. That'd be big, but I look at Canada. They invented the game of hockey. If they say this, their game. We've always been like that stepchild as far as beating them. It's kind of like, if people say, hey, this team would have beaten the U.S. 9 out of 10 times. We look at it from here. I look at soccer, which was invented over 8. There's football for years and years developed. And the Spaniards brought it to Mexico, developed it. Yes, they live it, they breathe it, they died for their sport. But I don't know, just going up here and looking at the two and how rare it is for the Americans to beat Canadians, that's their sport. I just look at it more of, hey, we just beat you. You're at your own sport. It'd be like international, having an international NBA title versus the NBA domestic guys, that type of thing. So I don't know, for me, I just feel
You're taking hockey?
I'm taking hockey. I'm taking the Americans over the Canadians as a bigger platform because it's their sport, which they always seem to post that much versus the USA.
First off, soccer is the world sport. The world sport. Most of the world does not play hockey.
Yep.
So it would be bigger soccer-wise because it is the world sport. Manuch, you referenced Europe, down through South America. It is the world sport. Now, look, do I ever think that Mexico and the United States would ever get to a World Cup final? I mean, I'd love to see it in my lifetime. I'm not sure that I'm not going to hold my breath. But if indeed, if we're doing this with a hypothetical, I would go soccer if the USA won that game because it is a global sport where hockey, I don't want to say it's a niche sport. That's kind of incorrect, but it is limited with where it is very popular within the entire world.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, as you mentioned, soccer is a world game, right? World Cup is global. The rivalry with Mexico is gigantic.
Yeah,
it's cultural. 40% of people that live here in just Arizona are Hispanic.
Yeah.
It's emotional. The stadiums, there's nothing like going to a soccer game, and World Cup or something like that. But the USA Mexico games are often feel like a road game on U.S. soil, right?
Yep.
And you have split or majority Mexican crowds, Mexico crowds. You got the political part of it. I mean, look what's going on with cartels down in Mexico right now. The cultural undertones. When USA wins, it flips the energy instantly. Hey, not taking anything away from USA beating hockey and winning hockey. Not at all, man. That's huge. I just think it's would be beating Canada. All right, it gains us some respect. We're not the little brother like Manuch said. Beating Mexico in soccer is bragging rights. It's bragging rights across the country,
across the world.
Yeah, well, you got to think country, world, yes. So I think clearly, and that is our state board aid room to get your call question. You can vote yourself by just going on our Twitter page, X page, whatever, and you can vote right there. But basically, the question is pretty simple, as I just mentioned. What's more satisfying as a sports fan, beating Canada in hockey? And I know that's so fresh right now. That's why I posed this question. Or beating Mexico in soccer. I can't wait to see what the results are going to be on that. But so far, it's 2-1 Mexico. How about the kids? Have you guys get done playing on your phones? Whatever you're laughing about over there. So what's...
they're working back there.
Yeah, they're working. Yeah.
Sweat coming off their brows.
Yes. So what's more satisfying as a sports fan in your 20s, beating Canada in hockey, which you guys got to live and see yesterday, or beating Mexico in soccer?
I would for sure say beating Canada in hockey because that's their mainstay. That's their sport. So for
Mexico, it's not soccer.
Yeah, it is. But I think in America, especially our generation, soccer hasn't been as big of a platform. And I think USA beating Mexico isn't as big as an upset in soccer as it is to see the U.S. beat Canada in hockey. So it's more exciting.
So for somebody that grew up in Arizona, right? You grew up in Arizona, Parkland High School there.
Born and raised.
What's a bigger sport, soccer or hockey?
Hockey. More people probably play soccer, but I think hockey is still more popular. You got Austin Matthews, you got some guys.
Yeah.
There's 4 of them on the team, both Kachucks, Tage Thompson.
Shane Doe, yeah. Connor?
Yeah, I mean, it's a toss-up. I'd probably lean a little bit more against soccer just because I think it feels a little bit more accomplishing as far as what you have in the NHL, or I should say the Olympic hockey. You have a lot of different NHL players on both teams. Whereas you see a lot of times when it comes to soccer, a lot of America's best players are going to go play international. They're going to go play for these international clubs and things like that. So when they have to play for America, or not have to, but I should say when they do choose to play for Team America or Team USA in this instance, I feel like there's a little bit more sense in that national pride. And again, these are going to be tight contested games. I think hockey, just because there's a little bit more widespread of talent, I've been on the side of soccer. So
The only thing, Brock, that I would say to follow up on me selecting soccer would be it would have to be a World Cup final.
Sure.
Between those two.
And that's what we're comparing.
Yeah,
That's
what
the
I'm saying.
only way that you can have this conversation. It has to be that level. Like,
Right.
just like,
Just
you know,
like the
obviously
gold
Olympics.
medal.
Yeah. You know, I think cultural, I think is a big part. You know, hockey is regional. It is. Soccer is global.
Yep.
But I just think if you're losing to Canada in hockey, all right, it stinks, but it's
yeah.
You know, that's just what they do. Yeah, I love the fact they're beating them in curling now. But losing to Mexico in the World Cup, I mean, it's a 4-year crisis, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
pretty much.
And I think every year we get excited as fans that tune into the World Cup, as the World Cup will be in Los Angeles next year. You know, I'm sure everyone's going to have every bar, every restaurant, everyone's going to be watching it. It's patriotic, just like it was last night.
Right.
Yesterday morning, 6 o'clock, everybody's showing up. But I think soccer, the U.S. still carries it's not our sport label, right? We still get that, right? And for Mexico, it's all they have, right? For the most part, they don't have other sports. I mean, they're getting better in basketball and some of the other things, but you know, hockey parity. I mean, there's a lot of hockey parity, right? You see a lot of that. You know, both countries were loaded with NHL stars.
Look at Finland and
Same thing.
Yeah, they have.
They're all using the same tools, the same pipelines.
Yes,
you
and
know,
they have NHL players.
You know, you said something that Canada, well, they beat the US expected. That's why I think it's so big that we beat them. Which is,
but
I
we
think,
have beaten them. We beat them in other tournaments and things like
okay,
that.
but as far as a gold medal on the Olympian stage, and that is huge for them to beat the team that was expected to beat them. They talk about the better athletes, the better skaters, on and on and on. For them to win this game was, like, as I mentioned, like a little stepbrother taking the first one. Now Canada might beat them. 9 out of 10, who knows? But this team, what they did, and on the other side, I look at it. If soccer and the U.S. met in the World Cup final, I look, okay, the athletes that we have versus the athletes in Mexico. You look, okay, if they're on par, they would be just as talented, if not more talented. So I would, at some point, think, okay, we got the best of the best. We trained the best of the best. That they should win that game.
I'm gonna disagree because our best athletes don't play soccer.
I would think it's more
Our
like
best athletes play basketball, play football, play
But what I'm
baseball.
saying, if they get there, you've got these top-notch athletes, say USA, that they've been training, like the Mexican team have been training as much as they had. They're going to have top-notch athletes. I guarantee
But it's easier to get to the Olympic gold medal round than it is to get to the World Cup final. You got 30 teams you got to go through, and how you even get qualified to be able to be in the tournament.
And I would agree to that point, but I just don't think that you look at a team who's developed, who talks and appreciates the sport of their sport. I think Canada is the main thing I look at.
Yeah, you got to look back to 2002 World Cup, round of 16. USA beat Mexico 2-0. That was global stage, knocked them out. For U.S. soccer fans, it was a defining rivalry moment, right? But it wasn't a friendly, it wasn't a regional tournament, it was a World Cup. You know that USA had beat Mexico and the other stuff. But even the Gold Cup, which they've beaten them a couple times, but still they have not gotten there when it comes to the world stage of the World Cup. And I keep saying this, soccer is the world's game. And if the United States win the world's game, then we're on top. We're at the top. Hockey is great. It's great. It's great. I'm not taking it away. But we're going to move on to NFL Combine like that, right? I mean, this is good. This news cycle with hockey is, at least in our city, right? Because we don't have this, which sucks. It's not. I mean, there's soccer going on in every single part of this state, every single weekend and every night. Not hockey.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if you had like 10 states had this question. The way they respond with soccer or hockey, how that would turn out. Because every region, you mentioned, is different. Who's got the soccer, who's got the hockey.
I think soccer is pretty much everything.
Yeah, I would say so, but you know,
Because anybody can play.
That is true.
I mean, think about it. I don't have
You
kids.
don't have to learn
kids.
to
I'm
skate.
like, hey, I need something for you to do. Just go run around and kick that little ball around.
You don't have to learn how to skate.
Yeah. All right. You guys wanted to come in. What do you got left?
I was just saying, I think the U.S. and Mexico aren't that unevenly matched in soccer. the way U.S. is beating Canada, where that's their mainstay, that's their main sport of hockey, I would compare it to, it would be maybe a bigger deal. Let's say if the U.S. in the World Cup final were to beat a Brazil or an Argentina, that's kind of more relatable because that's their all day, every day. That's all they care about is soccer. Brazil, Argentina,
I think Mexico. Don't you think Mexico feels the same way? Maybe you got some baseball.
Yeah, for sure. But Mexico isn't highly touted in soccer in the last number of years, like in Argentina or Brazil, as or like Canada is in hockey. So I think then it would maybe be a bigger deal.
Yeah, in hockey, it's unfortunate that the NHL, which is where the best players are, and when was the last time the Stanley Cup was placed in 1992 with the Montreal Canadiens? That's a long time ago. I think it's great that Austin Matthews go back to Toronto, and he's going to show off this American gold medal to all those folks in Toronto.
The Stanley Cup resides in Florida.
Yeah.
In Florida. That hot hockey base.
What an oxymoron that is.
It is.
The Stanley Cup in Florida.
Yeah.
All right. So America's dominating internationally. Meanwhile, the Suns, they can't stay healthy for 48 hours. They split the weekend, then boom, broken hand. Get into all that next. Roc and Manuch, GBB. We're on YouTube. We're on ESPN Radio, Phoenix. Of course, on FM at 98.7 HD-2, and always on the Arizona Sports Zone.
Now open in North Scottsdale. It's the Orangedale Lounge. ODs. Right off Thompson Peak and Bell, next to Bash's. Your new favorite dive bar has arrived. Cold drafts, chill vibes, always affordable prices, and the OD Mug Club, a one-of-a-kind membership you won't find anywhere else. No frills, just great people, ice-cold drinks, and a bar that feels like it's always been there. Follow at OD Scottsdale and get the scoop at orangedalelounge.com. Orangedale Lounge. Dive in and drink up.
Phoenix, if you need a plumber, call the team that does it the right way. Victory Plumbing Arizona. It's particular plumbing for particular people with upfront pricing before the work starts. So there's no surprises when the job's done. And here's a deal just for listeners. Tell them you heard Victory Plumbing on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, and they'll waive the service charge. For leaks, clogs, water heaters, or anything plumbing, book today at victoryplummingarizona.com. ROC number 268603.
There's nothing like it. The rush when the band plays, the roar when the Sun Devils take the court, the energy that shakes the building and pulls you to your feet. This is Sun Devil men's basketball, where every night brings the sound of something electric, something unpredictable, something you have to feel to believe. From the first tip to the final buzzer, Sun Devil Hoops is where passion lives. Be a part of it. Bring the noise, and let's light up Desert Financial Arena together. Get your seats now at sundeviltickets.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, the ultimate lunch lineup boasts wall-to-wall sports and scenic views. When you're hungry and in a hurry, the Scratch Kitchen delivers lunch in the clutch. I mean, where else can you order a 29-degree draft beer and a quickie combo on your lunch break? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge. We all have someone we love, like the favorite lyric in our favorite song. You can't imagine life without them. Cancer screening tests can help keep the person you love around longer by detecting changes before cancer develops, or catch it early when it may be easier to treat. And many tests are available for free or covered by insurance. It's time to sound like a broken record. Tell all your friends and family, I love you. Get screened. Visit cancer.org/getscreened to learn more.
Parents, tired of conversations that go nowhere? How was your day? Fun. With conversation starters from parenting.org, you can turn fine into fun.
What was the funniest thing that happened today? I was sitting next to Piper at lunch, and she had this, chicken fish patty.
Text CONVO to 51550 for weekly conversation starters, from silly to serious. And connect more with parenting.org from Boys Town.
Let's get back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B now on ESPN 620.
It's just good tape. I think they're all good reps. I think we found some things. Amir's play, those young guys play. Jamari had a stretch. We're gonna need everyone. That's what the NBA is about. When your number's called, go out, play the best of your ability, and then evaluate. You gotta prepare, execute, evaluate. And it's just a big circle. It's endless. 82 of these things. And I thought some of those guys got some good work.
Coach Ott, after the loss last night, so here's the Suns in a nutshell. They split the weekend, and somehow it still feels like they lost the entire weekend. Because Saturday, double overtime thriller. Jalen Green hits the buzzer beater. Grayson Allen drops 27 from his return, carries them in the overtime. They fight, they're gritty, but at the end of the day, we find out the next morning that Dylan Brooks breaks his hand. So then Sunday happens, they only score 77 points, the lowest 2017 blowout loss. And here we are just looking at Dylan Brooks on the sideline with his hand, and now he's going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks. Or maybe indefinite. We'll see. But that is just not good. They're fragile. So the question is, are the Suns a contender? Or are they a team that simply just can't survive injuries? Because this is tough. I don't remember a year the Suns have had this.
Well, I mean, Jordan Goodwin gets hurt yesterday.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you're looking at Goodwin who scored 17 that way. Grayson Allen, you mentioned 7. Dylan Brooks does the last 8 minutes. You got 7. You got a little bit of a mash interview. But they said there's like 70 points this team was missing in yesterday's game.
Right.
Grayson Allen, Devin Booker, Dylan Brooks, and then Goodwin. I went 70 points. Yeah. That's hard.
Yeah.
To make it up with a bunch of rookies, guys coming off the bench. They're just not built like.
Now Ryan Dunn will have to step up and replace Brooks. I mean, Brooks is having a career year, 20 points.
Best year he's ever had.
So we'll have to see what happens here. But you buy a Portland Trailblazer team.
Well,
when you're that short-handed, right?
Yeah, they just didn't have anybody. Yeah, they couldn't get
that low.
Yeah, look, Donovan Clingan just
he was cherry picking all night.
Oh, come stop. He just posted guys up, threw them around like they were rag dolls.
Like 13 boards or something like that.
Yeah, he said, I mean, look, this is his second year in the league. When he came out of UConn, he came out like after his sophomore year. So he is still learning the game. I'm thinking by the 4th year, he is really going to be a physical presence down low for that team.
You know, the other thing, too, is voice on Yellow where we struggled.
Yes.
He got shut out yesterday.
Yeah,
0.
Yeah.
6. He only had 6 points in the Orlando game. So I just wonder if Jordan Knott's going to make any kind of adjustment. And he just
not going to play, though. I don't know. That's the issue.
I don't know if you put Iguodala in there, you put Dunn in there. I mean, he's got between a rock and a hard place.
He is, yeah.
As far as he's going to start, because we don't know if Grayson Allen is going to play tomorrow or not. He has a hell of a game, but he sits. He needs to play off that knee and or ankle. It's a knee and ankle combo, is what it is. And then Gillespie, all of a sudden, he's either hot or not. Now, that 4th quarter, he got hot.
He got hot there.
And he got it back in with 11 points.
Yeah.
By that time, it was too late. It was too late. You had the young guys in the game. You had guys that were trying to make a run, but they just couldn't because they couldn't get any stops, or they had some turnovers or couldn't get the rebound.
At one point in that game, when Manuch was on the court because they had to go to him, he tried to guard Clingan down low. Clingan caught the ball and hip checked him like into the second row, and then just dunked with one hand. I mean, it's amazing the difference between, and Manuch, you can vouch for this being, because I'm sure it's similar on the NFL field, your first year to your second year in the league. Yeah, night and day.
Yeah, it really is. And Fleming had a couple nice shots.
Yeah.
Manuch hit a 3-pointer.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, been tried for the whole year in the corner. But yeah, there was really no stopping this team. Matter of fact, Portland got beat by like 50 points a couple nights earlier in Denver. So, they were moving there, come out there, and they just pressed all they could, knowing that Brooks was out. They knew that Grayson Allen was going to play. They just kind of went, okay. Jalen Green, who had a hard time Saturday after hit that final 3 in the double overtime, and they knew they was going to get hit, but after that, they weren't. I mean, this Portland Trailblazers, if we see the Suns lose to Portland, they come down here and they pretty much it seemed like it was ever any threat. I felt aside maybe the first quarter.
Yeah.
And then after that,
That's fair.
I mean, it was a low-scoring first half.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a sloppy first half, very, very sloppy, kind of ugly. And then again, it's interesting. The Suns have 6 free throws, then they have 24 on Saturday night, and then just 6 free throws again last night. Because they're not going to the rack. They can't. They got to. They're getting behind.
Yeah. So they got to
shoot the three. Got to shoot the three. So it's going to be very difficult to see Dylan Brooks when we have to come back first or second week of April. By that time, the season ends with mid-April.
Yes.
Hopefully, Devin Booker.
I hope they could just win enough to make the play.
So you got to hope Green stays healthy.
Yeah.
You got to hope Devin Booker doesn't have any more injuries after this week of the sprain. But Jalen Green's got to stay healthy. That Gillespie stays hot. That Mark Williams holds his own. And that Iguodala and Dunn and whoever else come off the bench can help him out. Losing Goodwin off the bench, that's huge.
Yeah.
Because he's hits the offense. But Royce O'Neal's going to have to pick it up. I don't know if he's just tired or if he's in a slump.
He's in a slump.
I mean, there's no contribution.
Yeah.
Rebounding or whatever defensive wise. So it's going to be, it's unfortunate that the perfect storm is at the Suns. I think your point, Rock, they might hopefully live maybe the play-in situation versus having a shot in playoffs if everybody would have been healthy. Since you've got a decent good 4 to 6 weeks without your belt out, he's not going to be there for you.
It's changed the entire dynamic all of a
really
sudden
has.
for this season.
It's
Such a huge
I hate roller coasters.
Yeah.
And clearly, it's been a roller coaster ride this season with the Suns.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, here it is, and then they go on that little run. I mean, you gotta give credit for that little spurt where they were kind of banged up, and they still went up on a team that we didn't expect.
Right.
But it may catch up to them now with just a few more months
They
left
just
to
have
go.
too many guys out.
I don't know how you cover. Call guys up from G League.
Well, you got a body, but that's all you have.
And then you see guys that you don't hear much about, like Grant, kid from Portland.
Yeah.
I mean, playing, you know he's talented. You realize he can shoot that well. But the other guys go, wow. I mean, they have 58 points off their bench being Portland. 58 points off their bench.
Yeah.
So they came in waves and held that score at 15, 20. They were up by 21 at one time. And the Suns did all they could. It's almost like they're shorthand. It's almost like, I don't know, 7-on-4 at times.
And here's the other issue, too, is when you don't have the guys available and you're playing, as Manuch just said, shorthanded, by about the fourth quarter, you start to run out of gas.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
All right, Frank Sanders is going to join us next for his weekly stop here on a Monday. I'm going to ask him, is this Cardinal team building something real, or are they still rebuilding? So we'll get into that right after this ESPN Radio 620 Sports Center update with Hunter Collins. Appreciate you hanging out with us. It's Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B here on ESPN Radio Phoenix on FM at 98.7 HD2 and, of course, on the Arizona Sports Center.
Now time for your Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, ESPN Sports Center update. I'm Hunter Collins. Sad news across the valley this weekend as former Arizona Cardinals wide receiver Rondell Moore passed away at just age 25. And former Phoenix Mercury forward Carter Braxton passed away this weekend at the age of 43. In Suns news, forward Dylan Brooks did go ahead and get surgery on his left hand. He is expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks. And with a broken hand that he suffered in Phoenix, a double overtime win versus the Orlando Magic on Saturday. And this afternoon, the Arizona Diamondbacks are currently taking on the Cleveland Guardians. Right now, they do happen to be down 7-3 at the top of the 8th inning. We'll keep you updated as that game wraps up. This ESPN Radio 620 Sports Center update is sponsored by Backyards Desert Ridge. Stop by Backyard Desert Ridge, where the Sun Spirit shines every night. The guys are live there tomorrow before the Sun Celtics game, and come by and stay for the Backyard Vibes.
Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice-cold Bud Light or a refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views. Big Bigger fields, bigger events, bigger experiences. Arizona Athletic Grounds. Arizona Athletic Grounds is a 275-acre sports and entertainment destination for athletes, fans, and families. Located in Mesa, AAG is one of the largest multi-sport complexes in the country, with over 475,000 square feet indoors and more than 150 fields and courts. From tournaments to training to cheer, dance, concerts, and corporate events, the Grounds does it all. Learn more at azgrounds.com.
Another Arizona storm season's rolling through. Before the next big downpour hits, call State 48 Roofing for your free roof inspection. Whether it's cracked tiles, flat roofs, or old shingles, don't wait for leaks to show up. State 48 Roofing is Arizona's #1 referred roofer, trusted for over a decade in both residential and commercial roofing. Protect your home, protect your business with State 48 Roofing. Visit state48roofing.com. or call 480-268-4509 today.
Arizona's headquarters for Toyotas is Wright Toyota. Hey, Rock, for my friends at Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. You will always find the right deal at Wright Toyota. Wright Toyota has been driving Arizona's home for years with their amazing service, pricing, and great selection. I encourage you to discover the difference at Wright Toyota. Make the right choice, Wright Toyota, just off the 101 on Frankwood Wright Boulevard, and always online at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection. Check out WrightToyota.com.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm Kevin Rowe from Logan Rowe. We've been serving Arizona's for 20 years. Make the best choice after an accident. Call 977-1900. That's 977-1900.
When it comes to sushi, reputation matters, and Sushi Brokers Arcadia has built theirs on being the best sushi in Arizona. From traditional rolls to bold fusion creations, like our crowd favorite, Seafood Dynamite, and the must-try sushi pizza. We've got something for everyone. Our famous happy hour is every day from 3 to 6:30 with fresh favorites like the California roll, spicy tuna roll, and the serpent turf roll topped with seared steak. Sushi Brokers Arcadia, 44th Street in Indian School.
He played 8 seasons with the Arizona Cardinals. The Sandman.
It is going touchdown over! Sanders got it! Touchdown over! Frank Sanders from the over to end!
Frank Sanders joins Roc and Manuch with Jenny B. right here on ESPN 620.
He's got it again here out of the backfield, and it slots up the middle. Rondell Moore, touchdown Arizona.
It's Arizona Wildcats, right?
Oh, that Cardinals? That's Rondell Moore. I let him go as far as that. So speaking of that, as we bring you on, just very, very sad state of affairs to see that Saturday that looks like apparently that he may have taken his own life when they found him. Just want to get your thoughts on this young man. What a talent. They drafted him in the second round just a few short years ago. And when you first heard the news, you were very close to a lot of these receivers on this team with Kate Fly.
Yeah, it was sad, man. Like, it's you always think about the locker room. You think about the things that you talk about, the things you discuss. You try to evaluate and look at what's going on in people's lives. And you tell yourself, man, life is good. We still got a lot going on. There's a lot of opportunities. We're still optimistic about the next year, whatever happens, and what the future can hold because you're still so young. But to hear that, it's just jaw dropping, man. But that we're with the NFL and a lot of guys players that we do know and that we rooted for. That never seems to be. It seems to be getting higher.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. And we talked about the suicide hotline, and I talked about my quarterbacks out there. I had a young quarterback going back 5 years that committed suicide as a freshman in high school. Anytime these kind of things come up, unfortunately, I have to make sure I talk to them about mental health as well as physical health. And if you have any issues, please let us know. I thought it was interesting reading Hunter Brown had just talked to him that day about the struggles he was having being injured in Atlanta, and then being injured in Minnesota, and then being let go, obviously, with 2 knee injuries, very, very difficult. But he just said he tried to encourage him to move forward. So anytime I get a chance to I think NFL's doing a good job with that. I think all sports, with athletes, we figure, well, your world's coming to an end. No, it hasn't. There's a whole nother life after that sport.
Without a doubt. I mean, there's so much growth. But it's hard to see that kind of stuff when you're in the midst of it. I think that, you always try to catch a guy to say, hey, man, how you doing? What's going on? Everything's okay. Most of us as men, what do we say? Nah, we good. No, we good, bro. We good. Next thing you know, you find out that something else is really going on the back end. And I think that is what we're taught as men, to be strong and to kind of keep our feelings on the inside. And then you find scenarios that sometimes lead to these. And unfortunately, it's just an unfortunate situation, man. There's so many, stories that we've had to listen to or deal with based upon the scenarios of different men. It's just, there's no real answer to it, but it's really sad and disheartening because you always think that you're a place that somebody can come talk to and maybe help them out of that dark journey, but sometimes you just can't.
All right, Frank. Combine, switching topics, and God rest his soul of Ron Moore. Combine starts this week. A lot going on the first 3 days. What stands out the most for you? And my other side of that is, were the Cardinals hinting at drafting one Frank Sanders? Did you recognize anything, or that one come out of the
You know what stands out the most? I need to see Roc run like a 40-yard dash.
Why? I mean, I'm not
Jimmy B, can we get Roc running like a 40-yard dash?
I don't know if he can last. So true story. Last time I was hosting West Virginia when they played ASU in the Rate Bowl or whatever it was called back then, Inside Bowl. And my job was just one time was kind of a thing we did is you run out to get the tee, the kickoff, deal. And I freaking pulled a hammy right. So it was the worst experience I had in front of all those people at Bank One or Chase Field. It was awful. So I'm not doing no 40. You can give me a year's worth of 40s in Budweiser, and I wouldn't do it. So no way.
Roc would need Uber. Roc would need Uber to run a 40.
Yeah, I'm not a runner. I mean, no thanks.
Jimmy B, he said you can give me a year full of 40s. I'm not running the 40.
No, thank you, Frank. No, there's no need for that. I mean, you can pay me a lot of money and I still wouldn't do it. It's not worth a hamstring that you're going to be hurt for 6 months, Embarrassment. I can handle the embarrassment. I can handle the embarrassment. That part's easy.
A year, that's the line of the year. A year full of 40 and I'm not running the 40.
That's no way.
He shot that down pretty quickly.
You can throw in some.
Oh my God!
I don't care if you bottle a Louis. I still won't do it. Not a chance.
Do it all. Hey, look, you know what? That's what happens when you get older, boy. Pain ain't worth it.
I mean, right after this, I'm going to a back doctor. I mean, I've been going 3 days a week for the last 6 weeks. I haven't gone in 6 weeks. So, you really think I want to add a hamstring to this? No. Just keep your money. Yeah.
All right.
Hey, Frank, if you look at the combine, the 40's stupid. I mean, they're in what, t-shirt, shorts. Come on,
scouts.
Yeah, honestly, I agree with you on that, Roc, 100%. There's no need to once you know these guys are capable and pretty fast. That's just putting lipstick on something, man. You don't need that for that purpose. So the 40-yard dash is overrated in that regard because when players go play, they still got to go out and play regular football. So, but when it comes back to the question, when it comes to me, I did have an idea that at the Senior Bowl, Dave Atkins came to me and told me, he said, Frank, Buddy Ryan like you, and so if you just keep up the good work and practice, and there's a good chance that the Cardinals will probably go draft you. I didn't think that on draft day because there was a guy from Dallas that was in my house at the time, and so I thought Dallas was going to draft me with the 45th pick, and they took Sherman Williams, running back out of Alabama, and then the Cardinals came by and drafted me. But I was really happy with that because all I wanted was, I said on draft day, Roc, I said, God, send me someplace warm and a team that needs me. Answer my prayer.
Hey, Frank, I'm with you on that 40 thing. Look, Jerry Rice, when he was there, ran 4.6 and 4.5. And I'd say his career worked out pretty well.
Well, Tom Brady ran a 5.2.
He did. He did.
Well, I'm probably going to run like a 7.8.
Run
Yeah.
6.
No, I'd be a good 8. Yeah. I would walk just to boy. I'll still get there.
It's like back in the combine, does the cone drill and other drills that they do, especially like the lineman offense and defense, does that play a big part? Or once again, like you said, is it just for show?
No, there's some things agility-wise you do want to see out of the guys, and if there's levels of explosiveness, quickness. Which, remember, we always say this thing, right? You can't teach speed, but when you get it, it's just something it's great to have. And so it's the same thing with the offensive linemen and their strength. If a guy can throw 225 pounds up 50 times, that's pretty special because he has power and he has the ability to go out and move some men around. And I think that's the same thing when it comes to the cone drills. Those are things that the eye test matters in regards to seeing a guy how athletic he is, because the NFL honestly is at a faster level. And so when you're trying to put the eye test on what he does on film versus his opponent in college, he needs to be that much faster, that much more quicker, that much more explosive when it comes to the next level. And sometimes you can only see that when those cone drills are happening.
It's interesting. I found this weekend one of the pro scouts that I know for the Steelers, Kelvin Fisher, was talking about the way they set the combine up. And I said, boy, that's with the mental piece, physical piece, medical, on and on and on. I said, that's quite the grind in the bingo. She said, that's part of it. How do they handle the grind for a week to be on time, to perform, or to be sharp, or you know what I mean? It was like, oh wow. It's almost like that first week of training camp. But I never really thought about that mental grind and how you handle the entire week as being part of the process.
Now, that is pretty slick, right? I think and it is a grind. I will say that respectfully. The mental test that you got to take, the agility, hand-eye coordination drills that some teams present, things that one team presents, another team doesn't present, and it is a grind to go through to see if you actually can handle that. And the NFL is a long season, and guys realize that sometimes when you get to the next level, it is not just your physical ability that will win you in the NFL. You have to have the mental fortitude to play 4 quarters of football. We talk about this all the time, finishing football games. And I think there's a part sometimes where situational awareness happens. You see guys this last year have a lot of brain farts at the end of the game, and it shows up. And you go back and say, well, what did you test them like in the combine, or what happened to cause that? And I think there's that process in it, man. Sometimes it seems tedious, but I'm pretty sure the algorithms and the guys that are smarter than all 4 of us on this line, they figured out some ways to kind of test guys if they're mentally capable of handling the NFL.
Frank, where are you now on all of these international games? Because we're going to get to the point where eventually every team is going to play somewhere overseas. Where are you on this?
I find it to be it's great as a player because you get to travel. Okay. I think that is always awesome, especially when somebody else is dying.
Yeah.
You get to travel and get to see another part of the country or the world. But the reality is that because you have Netflix and Prime videos that are, globally, traveling kind of seems like they already have the ability to have that awareness. Unless the Prime or Netflix or certain channels that are ESPN don't cover that part of the globe. But I just don't see that happening. For the players, I think it's awesome because they get to travel and go see other parts of the country. The fan base, they get to see it too. But when you have such a global network, satellite-wise, is it really worth it? Does it really make the NFL that much better? I would say probably locally when you look at Mexico, because Mexico is right there. There's such a humongous fan base there. And every time you go, it seems like it sells out over 100,000 fans. That in itself, I see. But there's 2 sides of it. There's the business side, and I think the NFL has done a wonderful job of blowing the game. But from a player perspective, you have to go back and ask. But when I come back to play the Vikings here, am I still on their time or my time? And I think that sometimes that becomes a question mark on, because we do get to see that how it seems like how teams play. They seem to play a little more sluggish.
and then like the last couple of minutes of the game, they seem to keep their body and their timeline back in order.
As we let you go, how'd you play today?
I didn't play today, but I got stuff for you, Rock. I know you're gonna love this.
Okay.
At the department after the foundation, you passed by the over at Apple Go and Eric Alaska and her team did a wonderful job. Kwame wife, man, they did an excellent. All the boys were there. Quentin and Kwame Jr. was there. Darius was there. All of the Lassers were there. But guess who won?
Bankston.
Michael Bankston won and right Toyota. They won, brother. There you go. You could.
Are you
never
serious?
kid.
He was joking. I was joking. Dude, what is that guy? Every time I bring him up, man, has he been getting lessons for like every day for like the last 2-3 years? Because he's been picking up a trophy a lot these days.
Yeah, I know, man. That's why I'm bragging about him right now. Because Mike he's just gotten that much better at golf.
Love it.
I think that you guys should probably have like a one-on-one situation one time, or invite me and Manuch. Let us watch how you guys play it out, and then let's see who walks away.
So let me get this. So what I'm gathering here is you've been telling him not to talk bad about him. Is that what you did? Because
you already.
Oh man, come on, Frank! I these golf balls that I wait to give you as a close friend, and you're throwing me under the bus. Come on!
No, we're
you to play
on this bus.
Well, I invited you.
They're not talking.
I was going to invite you to like this big deal and got a private jet going over Pebble. I mean, forget that now.
Come on, man. Don't be like that.
Well, then why do you throw me under the bus with Banks? I mean, come on. You like a little, I mean, I know you have daughters. I mean, they just brush it off. They girls like to chat, like throw the rumors out there. I mean, come on.
Trust me, Frank.
Where's your man card at? Where's your man card, Frank?
For Rock. That was just yeah. Hey, look, I'm just back into acting what they shot.
What they shoot?
What they shoot. No. I'm not going to do that, brother. You have to act
if they fire like a 58 or something like that, that's BS. They didn't buy well, good. Alligator Arms, I know he ain't buying mulligans. So he's probably, oh, yeah, I bought 3. Yeah, we know how you guys do this stuff. You guys get to play all this free golf. Yeah, I bought mulligans. You didn't buy. Come on. All right, we got to go, Frank. Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
Love you,
throw me under the bus.
Well
done, Frank. See you later. All right, we're going to finish up here. Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B from the ESPN Radio Studios. Our one call, that's all. It's still up in just minutes.
Need to feed a crowd? Let Venezia's bring the flavor to your next event. We know you have a lot of options when feeding a large group. Ordering directly from Venezia's means you get the best service and the absolute best pricing. There's no per person fee. Just tell us how many people you need to feed, and we'll come up with the perfect plan to ensure everyone's well fed and happy. Grad party, office celebration, family reunion. Invite Venezia's to the table. Text catering to 411-24/7. That's catering to 411-247 or Venezias.com.
You applied to Grand Canyon University because you want somewhere fun and affordable, where hands-on classes and access to industry pros can help you build skills employers need, with the opportunity to graduate in less than 4 years. You want to feel seen, loved, called to more, to know you found your purpose. Make yourself the main character. Begin your story. Find your purpose at GCU. Visit gcu.edu.
Join the team at All City Towing, Arizona's largest towing company and leader in roadside service. We're hiring dispatchers, call takers, lot attendants, drivers, and customer service pros ready to grow with us. You'll enjoy state-of-the-art equipment, consistent schedules, full health benefits, a strong 401k match, employer life insurance, and a monthly fuel allowance. Take your career to the next level. Apply today at allcitytowing.com. All City Towing, where your future is always moving forward.
Swing into Vans Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf to get custom fit for the new Pink G440K driver. It's the new standard and straight with dual carbon fly wrap and a faster base. It's Pink's highest MOI most forgiving driver ever. Check out Pink's new G440K drivers. Book your custom fitting in store or online. Vans Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf, trusted by golfers since 1963 and home to the legendary 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee. Get there.
Time is valuable. That's why Lowe's Blueprint Takeoffs turn blueprints into quotes faster. Bring us your plans. And we'll generate itemized material lists to make quoting easier so you can get back to building. Plus, at the Lowe's Pro Days, you get access to thousands of building materials not sold in store. And when your order's ready, we'll deliver everything to the job site. Improving is easy at Lowe's.
I'm Wilmer Asias. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Pay for it. I'm sign up for their online pickup.
It's the Lerner and Rowe one call, that's all call of the day. If you're looking for a full-service law firm, just make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. Lerner and Rowe, voted Arizona's best law firm.
The dream come true. I love this group. We've had so much fun over here. We've grinded, we've battled. This is some of the best and most fun hockey I've ever played. It still hasn't truthfully sunk in, so, I'm looking forward to celebrating in the next 24 hours, and who knows how long it's going to last. This is surreal. It's around my neck, and it's a dream come true.
Connor Hellbach, dream come true. Yeah, you wonder how these guys are going to celebrate. We know they're in New York City, right?
No, Miami.
Miami,
Yeah.
So they're in South
Hello,
Beach.
South Beach.
You know what? Actually, I think I did see how they were going to celebrate. Not to give them a little PR, but I think it was a call called Elevate, and it was like ELE with the number 8 at the end. I saw them doing a little promo saying, "Hey, if you want to come party with Team USA, they'll be out here in Miami and stuff."
Line for hours.
Yep.
All right, our one call is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe. Interact, need to check, make one call, that song, and always at lernerandrowe.com. First phone number 602-977-1900. All right, what's on tap? Sponsored by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Bud Light, the official partner of Roc Manuch, WB March media coverage. Twin Peaks coming up in just a couple weeks. What's on tap today? A little baseball action as Cleveland Indians or Guardians. That still always would be the Indians. My family being from Cleveland. 7 to 8, bottom of the 8. 7 to 5, bottom of the 8. There in Goodyear. Waldschmidt went yard and Lawler went yard.
That's second
today.
Lawler.
Yep, it's the second. He went in the 8th inning just now. So top of the 8th. And Waldschmidt got one in the top of the 7th. Tomorrow, the guys will be playing in Surprise. They'll be playing the Rangers. Also tomorrow night, the Celtics in town take on the Suns. Arizona State's at TCU, and Arizona is at Baylor. We'll be carrying the Arizona State game here on ESPN Radio 620, as the Celtics and Suns will be on the mothership Arizona Sports 97, and then the Arizona Baylor game will be on television on ESPN 2.
They are. Yeah, they should.
By the way, big one on Wednesday over at Talk Fields.
Dodgers. Here they come again. Loaded with cash, loaded with players.
I can't imagine. I know it's not a good bet to put down if they're from the series repeat, but I can't imagine. I don't remember a year where you're looking at a roster. Even the Yankees, something they were so as good as this.
No, they're loaded. They are,
especially when you have a 6 to 7 man rotation, starting rotation.
Yeah.
Oh my
What's kind of interesting? We talked to Jared Harrison about Dave Page going to 6 or 7 man rotation. Have these guys last and maybe take some pressure off the bullpen. He talked about the bullpen have struggled going into the World Series, and here they were. They pretty much stepped up, did about our 80 runs. And you saw those Dodgers bats come alive. I mean, the luxury of having 6 or 7 bona fide starters. Yep, that could be part of rotation. But I think David Roberts might go 5 or potentially 6, but I'm sure 5 for sure. And then for you look at somebody, Ohtani looked like to be mainly a pitcher this year. Now he will play as a DH. So I'm just curious to see what kind of numbers
if he stays healthy, pitching wise, hitting wise, maybe he has a day off after he pitches, DH. I doubt if he plays right field much at all.
No, I don't
think he will. But he'll be that, maybe that, that third guy in the rotation, second guy in the rotation. Who knows?
Let me just
Snell coming back.
Yeah, let me just slap this on both of you guys. Are the Dodgers the NIL team of Major League Baseball?
Good. But what's an NIL team in the other sport?
Texas A&M.
Yeah.
No, they didn't win.
But they paid big bucks for their players.
They didn't win.
Yeah, but they got to the playoffs.
But they didn't win.
I get it. Indiana paid quite a boatload of money.
They were at the bottom. They were the bottom.
But they had what $20-some million the kid that they paid.
Well, the point that I'm making here, though, is that the NIL is, as we always call it, the wild, wild west.
Yeah.
Nobody's got any control over it whatsoever. It's the same thing with Major League Baseball. There's no control over their spending at all.
Well, and until they get a hard cap or something resolved,
you know that's not going to happen.
And so the players need to realize, I think the other owners need to realize if they're going to compete with the Joneses, that they're going to have to step up, pay that kind of money.
They'll never do that.
Well, the small markets will be within the small markets. Well, the Royals made a good run last year.
They did.
But and
Milwaukee did.
And then the Diamondbacks, with their so-called budget, they made a run a couple years ago. They won the World Series. So, yeah, it's going to be few and far between.
But Kenrick invested that year. Remember,
Yes,
he did invest a lot more in that year, and it paid off.
But will anybody ever keep up with
No.
the Yankees?
No.
The Dodgers?
No.
The Phillies?
No. Maybe the Red Sox.
Boston, they've been somewhat budgetary the last couple of years, too. But, yeah, the richer get richer, the poor get poor.
That's it.
Somebody sneaks in the back door, like a Texas Rangers team.
Yeah,
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Or the Arizona Diamondbacks. Because you got to remember that the Rangers had quite the payroll. They faced the Rangers.
They did.
So, Jimmy, you watching the TTL?
I like it. Yeah, I like it
You know
very
what
much.
TTL stands for?
Yeah, it's the Tigers Golf League.
Nope, that's not right.
Top golf league.
No, that's not it. A lot of people don't know what it stands for.
Oh, okay.
Tomorrow's golf.
Oh, tomorrow.
Do you know which each team makes?
I do not. I know who
So
some of the
winning
winners.
team makes, each person makes 2 points. 5 points.
Get out.
Yeah, the purse last year was 21 million, so I know it went up this year.
Okay. I find it entertaining. I mean,
In
I
last
like it.
place, they're guaranteed 375,000. Again, these are numbers from last year.
Right,
So
yeah.
they're up. But how about that?
Tomorrow Golf League. Okay.
Yes.
I'll take that.
Yes. Tomorrow on the show, Barry Bloom, one of our favorites.
Yeah.
We'll have our TCU report. Darren Sutton will join us. Kyle Dodd will talk some ASU from TCU, right? You're going to get him on the road. Good stuff. Bob McMahon, we got some Cardinal talking in with him as well. We'll keep up our State 48 Roofing Get Your Call question. What's more satisfying as a sports fan? Beating Canada in hockey or beating Mexico in soccer? Appreciate you hanging out with us. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B right here on ESPN Radio Phoenix. If you missed anything, just download the Arizona Sports app.
Hey everybody, Dan Bickley here at